All right. Call halal Yahweh. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Honors to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways, teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. I got the light skin. I got the elder Rakar Makapash with me, and the brother, the officer man Jeremiah. And we just gonna go into this dude Dawada, aka Londonseer 144, aka the Brixton Prophet. This dude's just a reprobate, and what can we say? This is how the game goes, man. Brothers is gonna come in, and some of these brothers is gonna be strange, disturbed, reprobates, and I mean, what else can you say? Not every brother is gonna make it. All right. You brothers wanted to say anything?
Not right now. We'll start video first.
Not for now.
All right. So he made this video, and straight off the bat, this dude's wicked as hell because, he's trying to justify punching a brother in the camp with him because the brother brought him to council. That's really what it is. The brother brought him to council, called him out on a long list of BS that he's been doing. And in his anger, he punched the brother. I'm not going to say lay hands. No, he punched the brother. A brother that was supposed to be underneath him on top of that, meaning he was supposed to be taking care of that brother. And he punched him. And anyone that now tries to justify that in a 2-hour video is wicked and a reprobate. That straight off the bat, you're a reprobate. If you attempt to justify doing something like that, and you're speaking for 2 hours, that's how you know it's all narratives and lies and deception. Because if you had a good reason for not saying if you did have a good reason and justification for punching a brother, it ain't gonna take 2 hours.
But the thing is, like, he even knew it was wrong, right? He won't admit it. He don't want to admit it, but he knew it was wrong because, when he said in his own video, he knew it was over when he did it. He knew he was gonna get kicked out. But if it was righteous what he was doing, why would that have been the outcome? If he knew that,
Exactly.
why would he? So he knew that it wasn't proper, but he didn't care in the moment because he was filled with rage, innit?
He was carnal, emotional, right?
I get it, man. If all your dirt was spilled out, you're gonna get mad, innit? But like, it's still this is some men this truth or so, quote unquote. They don't remember, right? Even when something wrong is being done to you, if that's how you perceive it, man, you still have to act in character in the spirit, man.
Yep.
And suffer it.
Yeah, there's scriptures talk about suffer wrongfully.
If that's his perception, I'm not saying that he did suffer wrongly, but but like, if that's what your perception, you still need to act as a man of the Lord.
Yeah.
If that's what if that's what you think you are,
But he ain't got no behavior. If I had a scripture lined up, where is it? If I could find it. Is it be angry and sin not? Where did I put it? Where was it? I'm sure I had that scripture lined up here. Be angry. And there we go. Ephesians 4:26 says, be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath, neither give place to the devil. And that's what this guy did. He got angry and he violated another brother, man. And then he's trying to double down on it and trying to justify it because he don't want to be wrong. He don't want to look bad to the eyes of the sycophants that he may have gathered onto himself, you know. But we're gonna get into it. We're gonna let him speak himself into oblivion, and we're gonna bring out scriptures and explain a few things where he's just lying. So am I good to go?
Yeah.
Can't.
All right, let's play this, boy.
To come down really is because
That's Satan, man. What the hell is this? There we go.
Right. Hopefully the transmission is better here. I was trying to do it over there and the transmission got weak. Let me see if it gets weak. Let me just go for the spirit. All right, so giving all the praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Akar Dash. Right? And we do this video to address, you know, you had a lot of members of GMS, mainly elders that spoke about I laid hands on a man, right? I laid hands on a man, all that. Right, because I did an open review video on Manata Zakbar and how he dismissed the young brother. And really the reason why he dismissed the young brother is due to the fact that he didn't want to be bothered. He actually said it himself in the video. And you know, it's obviously the situation is gone now. I've already done it. I'm not going to keep going.
You know what, man? This guy's a slanderer, man, because the elder Manata Zakbar, and you know, he ain't the type of brother, like the way he's trying to paint the character of the elder, like he wouldn't want to teach no one, or he can't be bothered. That it ain't got nothing to do with that. He's teaching all the time. He's a very diligent elder that's always putting out work, always, you know what I'm saying? That ain't even the situation. Period. And the elder's already gone over it. But you know, this is the mechanizations of a demon, a slanderer, and that's all. A lot of what he does in this video is just slandering and trying to cast mud on other men's characters that are better men than him.
And another thing we were saying before, it's just his perception. His perception of things is incorrect.
Yeah,
because he's got it in his mind that, you know, like they say, he's got like everyone's doing something wrong, you know, and you know when the brother went down to you know see the brother in Elder Zakbar, right, when he got told not to, obviously, you know, there was nothing wrong with the what Zakbar said. You know, there was no reason for this dude to rebuke. There was incorrect rebuke, man.
Yep. But he's a fool. And the scripture said, Proverbs 10 and 18. It said, he that hideth hatred with lying lips, and he that uttereth slander is a fool. And he's uttering slander because he don't truly understand the situation that went down. Simple as that, man. But yeah, let's keep it going because he's going to keep spewing it. And then he's going to end up trying to disrespect the elders on top of that. He's just an idiot, man.
Done a review or sit down about it. But that's the whole crux of why I did that. Because there's a lot of people saying, the guy came down even though he was told not to. So what's the problem? But my whole thing was, you should have never told the guy not to come down in the first place. Right? And
yeah, you can. You can tell him not to come down. What the hell you absolutely can. He ain't telling him you can't learn. You could learn without coming down. What's this guy on, man? Who does he think he is? Because he's so attached to this fairy tale version of being an Israelite, man. This childish individual is very childish and borderline autistic, man. What do you mean?
Well, that fairy tale version is like when it suits him.
Oh yeah. When it's yeah. When he's not getting lineups and hair transplants and all sorts.
Mm.
Anyway.
I've got a quick scriptures, Aquan.
Yeah, bring it out, Art.
Yeah, this is Sirach 11 and 10. My son, meddle not with many matters, for if thou meddle much, thou shalt not be innocent. And if thou
Yep.
follow after, thou shalt not obtain, neither shalt thou escape by fleeing.
And you really, him getting involved now has put the spotlight on him, and now all the madness that he's done is gonna come back out on him. Because he wouldn't have to be addressing all this stuff that he did back then if he never opened his mouth. And now even more stuff is gonna come out on him. Should have just stayed in obscurity where you belong.
The reason why I told him to come down really is because he does not want to be bothered, right? He's out there in the highways and byways and doesn't want to be bothered. That's the whole point, okay? Right? He doesn't want people that he doesn't know standing in front of him, but that's the whole point of why you're out there on the highways and byways. That was the crux.
No, it's not. The whole point of being out in the highways and the byways isn't to have some dude standing in your face, man. What's this guy talking about? That you don't know. What's this guy even talking about? You don't know what's going on out here. The elder Manasseh Akbar, he's had people come up to the camp all the time and he engages with them. So what's this guy even talking about? This brother, that specific brother, was already watching the videos and learning. So it wasn't like he never had access to the edification. So what's your problem? But he's obsessed with the idea of standing in the street in Brixton in front of people. But then you punching brothers in the camp, taking the donation money, that the arms, and getting hair transplants, and spending the money before you tell anyone else, so you don't have to give them none. You disobeying orders from your own elders that you say you respect. Parring with man that preach different doctrines to you. A whole bunch of foolishness this guy done.
And I don't think a lot of guys was getting that. Oh, he was told not to come down, but he came down anyway. Yeah, but the whole point of why he's supposed to be, the reason why he's out there in the streets is to entertain strangers. That was the crux. But like I said, none of these men said, all these men that made these rebuke videos, really a lot of them were elders. None of them actually said, all of them said that they didn't even watch the video that I did. Obviously, like I said, I already said that on my mouth. I didn't expect them to respond.
But he's persona non grata, bro. Like, why does anybody need to watch his video? He's not a part of the camp.
Yeah, like what? Like,
I remember. So why do you need to watch your video? Like you're already out, so they don't need to waste their time with someone that's been kicked out.
But like he's so prolific, like he's gonna break it down and we're gonna understand. No, we're not gonna understand. Just shut your mouth, man. You ain't got nothing to say. That's what you should do. Cause now, and it's gonna get worse if I start bringing out all the stuff that Caleb found out about you. Man's watching bare videos about how to attract women. But you're an embarrassment, man. You're an embarrassment, man. You're a false character, man.
But I wasn't expecting them to respond, right? But they did. And you understand what I'm saying? But that was my whole talking point, right? Why are you out there if you don't want to entertain strangers? That's the whole point of why you're out there, right? Showing you that his priorities is not in the right place. And then it blew up into a great thing.
And that's why the scripture said, he that uttereth a slander is a fool. Because the elder that he's talking about, everybody knows that that's not his character. You know? Everybody knows that's not the elder Manatazat's character. He's constantly laboring in love. What's this guy even talking about?
And now you had RVR, you had Joshua Wamba doing their sit-downs. And then they were just going into the whole thing. Like I don't because I watched it like a couple of days ago, 2-3 days ago. So they were going into it. What are they saying, man? They're saying how, a lot through the whole thing. They didn't really actually bring out any scriptures. All they were doing was just making remarks about. That's what they were doing. I'm not actually tackling my talking point because like they said that out of their mouth. They didn't actually watch the video that I did. So why would you reprove a matter that you haven't even examined? So that's a folly onto majority of all the great millstone, that's a 40 onto them. The fact that they didn't even examine the matter before they even rebuked. Okay, and talking about these are supposed to be elders, man. These are men in high position, men of renown within Great Millstone that are in authority over other men.
It's because your point, sorry, bro.
To examine.
Go on.
It's because your point is mute. His point is mute. You know what I'm saying? His argument, his perception, or his judgment is incorrect in this matter. There was no reason to make a rebuke in the first place, and he doesn't understand that. He thinks he's right. His perception of things that he's right, and everybody else is wrong. You know,
he's rebellious, unruly, and he never respected authority. He never respected authority, man, and that's really what it comes down to. He's just a willful child, a willful autistic child.
And a matter that's being put forth against them by a man that they perceive to be of a lower rank than them. All right, which is myself.
Is a quite. I got a quick one. Yeah.
So they're saying all kind of.
Yeah, go on up.
Since you just said he's a rebellious dude, yeah, I've actually heard him with his own mouth say, "I like being a rebel. I like going against like orders and that." And this is Job 9:20. If I justify myself, mine own mouth shall condemn me. If I say I am perfect, it shall also prove me perverse.
There you go. And that's what he's trying to do. And the whole time, because he's going to go into it, the main issue is that he wasn't initially made the head of the camp. And the spirit was correct, because the thing is, when I chose who was going to be the head of his particular camp between him and Ma'ad, there really wasn't no difference to me between the two of them. They were both, I felt, inexperienced, but the most experienced in their particular camp. And I just picked, okay, Ma'ad's going to be the head and you're going to be the second. And that's really what burnt him from the very beginning, because he just wants to do things his own way. He's rebellious, man, and stiff-necked, stubborn, and proud. You know? The elder Manat Zakbar posted Ecclesiastes 10 and 14. A fool also is full of words, and a man cannot tell what shall be and what shall be after him. Who can tell him? Yeah, that's this guy. 2 hours, and you're gonna see that he's contradicting himself, just all to try and justify that you punched a brother in the camp. It's insane, man.
Things saying I'm her, I'm bitter. So all these things, all these deflection tactics, and we all know it's all bullshit. And what else are they saying? This, bringing up dirt on me, saying I laid hands on a man. All the, not that they actually cared that I laid hands on them. They don't care about that, because it's been like over 2 years ago. So they didn't care about. They're only bringing it up now because they're trying to back their boy, which is Manata Zakbar.
No. We did care that you did that. That's why you were kicked out expeditiously. We did care. You were kicked out expeditiously for that, immediately, without further counsel.
Mm-hmm.
Brothers know, because Ricard, you was there, right?
Yeah.
We didn't have to talk about it. Oh, should we kick him out? He was out because that's unacceptable. We didn't even have to ask the elders what to do, because I already know the spirit that the apostles and elders is coming in, that the elders take the brotherhood and how you treat the brotherhood very seriously. Very seriously. In Great Millstone, we don't tolerate violating brothers to certain level like that, man. That's a red line. You just straight out of there. Man, don't want to hear no explanations.
Mm-hmm.
So what he's trying to paint is that, that don't matter. They don't really care about it. It's not a big deal. They're only mentioning it because of this. No, we're mentioning it to show that you're acting like you're the champion for the people. But if you're such a champion for the people, strangers, then why did you beat on your own brother that you know? Man that was laboring with you in your camp just because the brother brought you to council and brought out BS that you were doing, and then you punched him. But you're out here acting like you're a champion for the people. It don't make no sense.
right? So it's not that they care, but they need to save face. They need to defend the name, the reputation of Great Millstone by bringing up the, oh, see, but look, why is he getting involved? Mind your business. They're saying all these things, right? But these are the same men that be all up in the business of IUIC and all these other Israelite groups and all these other, men and everything. They be all up in their business. But when you try to bring it home to them, they don't want it. They can dish it out, but they can't take it. So that's basically what it is. And that's what we've seen. This is what we've seen. Okay, like I said, we don't actually have any personal
sorry. Again, that's his perception. That's his perception talking. He doesn't actually know it.
And actually called it out. The same like
Oh, you paused it.
Yeah, that's a lie. He does. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I said that's his perception of things. He doesn't know that. Like, again, back to the point that they don't care. That he thinks they don't care.
Well,
none of that can be substantiated.
He's just saying that because he wants to frame everything where he could slide out the back door. And he's the Brixton prophet, and he's a front line, and he's on the streets, and these GMS guys just ain't right. No, you ain't right, man. And he's been sitting there watching the videos, waiting for an opportunity to say something. That's all it is. He was waiting for an opportunity to say something. That's what these dudes always do. Trying to find an angle. Yo, this thing keeps...
Especially on IUIC, the same way you call out the heresies on all the Israelite camps. Do you understand? Oh, he's bitter. Listen, man, we understand that the Heavenly Father might make it where we all might be in the kingdom. We all get delivered. Right? So we're all going to be laughing about it in the end. Okay?
We ain't going to be laughing about it in the end. I'm laughing about it now. Because you're a clown. I've been laughing about it all day.
We're all going to be laughing about it in the end. And, we have demons and all that stuff. We have demons, rare. But it comes to the territory. You can't tell a man to mind your business. What's it got to do with you? But you yourself is making videos on other Israelite camps. Right? But even the elder apostle Gabar, even going up the ladder, the elder apostle Gabar, like I said, still have to pay my respects because I did learn a lot of precepts from the elder apostle Gabar. I did learn a lot, right? But at the same time, where this situation is concerning, he did that video on I laid hands on the man. He doesn't know the ins and outs of what happened. He doesn't understand. He doesn't know. And to be honest, speaking as a man, he doesn't care. I don't think he cares. He's only doing it now because he's got to back his boy, Manasseh Zuckerberg.
So again, what he's doing there is it's diabolical. So he's casting down, he's calling into question the integrity of Elder Apostle Gabar. What he's basically, the picture he's trying to paint is that the Elder Apostle Gabar cares more about like the name of GMS and the name of Elder Manasseh Zuckerberg than what's right. This is what he's trying to push, that it's like a cover-up kind of thing. That's casting that's bringing the integrity of the apostles and the elders into question, when we know that anyone could be me, it could be the elder Manasseh Zuckerberg. If we go off, we're gonna get a phone call. If you look at the entire history of Great Millstone, heads get kicked out, heads get suspended. I've been suspended. So to paint this picture that the elder Gabar, he don't care about what's right or wrong, or he's just trying to protect his boy, as if the elder Gabar is just no integrity. He's man pleasing or trying to show respect of persons.
But this guy's a model character.
Yeah. But at the same time, I respect him. This is the kind of bullshit demons that we got to deal with. Oh, I respect him. He's an elder. He taught me, but let me just cast down his whole character so that I don't get all the bullshit I did don't stick to me. This is crazy, man. Hey, that's good scripture. 2 Peter 2:10. But chiefly them that walk after the flesh in the lust of uncleanliness and despise government. Presumptuous are they, self-willed. They are not afraid to speak evil of dignities. This is exactly what we're seeing right here. A man, a wicked man, who's trying to throw everybody else under the bus to justify himself. It's insane. The way he's describing the elder apostle Gabar is nowhere near the apostle's character. The apostle would never ever do what he's saying that the apostle would do. They haven't shown themselves to behave like that. How many heads of GMS camps have been kicked out? Come on, man. He was a head that was kicked out. You know what I'm saying? This is crazy.
Can I bring something out quickly?
He's got a back the name of Great Most.
Yes, lucky. This is Titus, verse 15. Right, it says, "Unto the pure all things are pure, but unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure. But even their mind and conscience is defiled." Oh, so okay, yeah, you're gonna bring it up.
That's this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had it on the list. Yeah, go on.
Oh, okay.
Go on, brother.
Yeah. So yeah, again, verse 15, Titus 1 and 15 says, "Unto the pure all things are pure, but unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure. But even their mind and conscience is defiled."
Yeah, hit the next verse as well.
It says, "They profess that they know God, but in works they deny him, being abominable and disobedient, and unto every good work reprobate."
There you go. He's a reprobate. Yeah, he might know a few scriptures and he might wear some fringes and he goes out there on the street and says, "You're an Israelite, repent," and all this stuff. But look what he's doing. He's constantly disrespecting righteous authority. He's fisting up brothers at the camp, and now he's on a 2-hour video to justify that. And we ain't even got to the worst parts. This is just the intro.
Well, again, he mentioned something about evil suspicions, right? But he's having the evil suspicions about everybody else. The whole GMS, all the elders, they're corrupt, and you know what I mean. It's him.
Yeah. If I can, Zakwan, yeah, on that evil suspicions thing, he had a thing where, like, during camp, after camp, before camp, anytime you're in his presence, like, you could catch him literally side-eyeing brothers and, like, looking brothers up and down. And then, like, there's been times where he'd, like, pull me to the side. "Oh, I don't know about that guy. I don't know about that guy." And I'd say to him, like what? Like, what's making you think that? Yeah. That dumb laugh he does. And it's like, explain yourself. What is making you have suspicions or, like, reservations about people?
Yeah, he paranoid, man.
Paranoid.
Yeah, he's a paranoid schizophrenic.
Or he thinks he's super deep spiritual, that he could just see everything.
Yeah.
Nah, maybe, I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. Maybe he's had a bit too much wacky backy in the past. And he's just paranoid too. You got them paranoid demons on him, man. But whatever it is, that's his problem. All right, let's keep it going.
Stone and all that. And as much as I might love the elder apostle Gabar as a father, a spiritual father, a man that taught me things. I remember back in the day where it was him, Tahar, and other elders, top 3 elders, right? They would sit there and they had the end of the world thing at the back, and they would go into certain Revelations, Genesis. I learned all that from them. So I can never disrespect men that birthed me, if you know what I'm saying, begat me. If that makes
But you have.
But he just did.
Yeah,
and this is what I mean about these guys, man. They'll do a thing and then say, "Oh, no, but I wouldn't." But you just did.
Makes sense. But in this instance, I have to say that the elder apostle Gabar, he's just using the whole talking point of me laying hands on the individual that I came from. He's using that whole issue. So he's using that issue as leverage to save face. That's what he's doing. He actually doesn't actually care about it. You understand? And he said, a bishop shouldn't strike or be wanting to fight. The whole thing. You watch the video, because I'm not going to play it back. You watch the whole video. And but and this goes now into the whole situation with me and London forecasters. Why I laid hands on the man. This all goes into that. I never desired to be a bishop. I didn't care about it. I didn't care about being an elder.
So this is the first thing that shows you that this dude's insane. So where is this? I had it up here. The scripture that the Apostle Gabar brought out, which where is it? Timothy's, right? So if you read 1 Timothy 3:1, right, it says, "This is a true saying: if a man desire the office of a bishop, he desireth a good work." All right. Now it says, "A bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife, vigilant, sober, of good behavior, given to hospitality, apt to teach, not given to wine, no striker," meaning a violent, like how he was, "not greedy of filthy lucre, but patient, not a brawler, not covetous, one that ruleth well his own house, having his children in subjection with all gravity." So this is like a baseline of the kind of individual, because you got to keep standards. Anytime you have someone in a leadership position, right? When you're in a leadership position, you're supposed to that person has to be of some kind of standard, because if you have someone that's of a low standard as a leader, it's going to drag everyone else down with it.
Mm-hmm.
It will be rotten from the head down, right? Now, what he's trying to do here is to justify why he struck her, man. He's saying, well, I never desired to be a bishop, so this scripture don't apply to me.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So it's this guy is a reprobate, man. He's a wrong'un. That shows you his mind is just trying to find ways. What's it? The wicked man will make an excuse.
Yeah, find an excuse.
He'll find his brain. He's doing mental gymnastics to try and explain away why he laid hands on a man, why he punched a man. And the apostle brought out the appropriate scripture because he was a bishop. He was a head in that camp. That brother that was with him, when he went out, he was a bishop over him. The first part of the scripture, it says, if a man desire the office of a bishop, he desire for good work. That doesn't mean if a man don't desire that office, that nothing that it says after that matters.
Well, check the what's it? The heading, man. Overseers and deacons.
Yeah,
he's an overseer.
He was an overseer. Oh no, but I never desired it, so it don't apply to me. Bro, you're a demon, man. So then now what? You could desire, you could be greedy of filthy lucre, and then say, well, you know, I was greedy of filthy lucre, but I never desired to be a bishop. Bro, what are we doing here?
I add that preset here for me to read it quick from Sirach.
Yeah, go on, Baba Kashar.
Yeah, it's Sirach 32 and 17.
Yeah, go on.
Yep. All right. So a simple man will not be reproved, but findeth an excuse according to his will. That's it.
There you go. That's it. He's trying to find an excuse, and he's 2 hours he's going to spend now and go back 5 years before the incident. Nothing. I don't even think, was Caleb even in the camp back then? He's going to go as far back as he can. I'm surprised he didn't go back to childhood. You know, well, when I was 3 years old, Jimmy did take me lollipop. I'm surprised he didn't go far back. Yo, when I was 3 years old and in nursery, that somebody did drink up a sippy cup. And that's why I punched the brother. Yeah, damn demon, man. Yeah, demon, man. And then you guys in London, yeah, that are following these type of individuals, it just shows that you ain't right and you ain't got a clue. You're spiritually dead. It ain't everybody that goes out there that's preaching is right, man. You got a lot of guys that are these I call them NPC Hebrews, man. They're non-playable characters. You don't even know if they exist when you're not around. And they just repeat the same shit over and over again. But the spirit ain't in them. Because if this dude was real and he was a true brother, he would just apologize, man. And we'd be like, all right, brother, you know, do your thing. It's between you and the Lord.
Why? When I laid hands on the guy and I literally walked out of GMS, I was looking to leave Great Millstone, like you're talking about 3 years prior to that. I was looking to leave Great Millstone. I was actually going to leave Great Millstone, right? I was actually going to leave Great Millstone a few years prior. Okay, the elder required come. He's now done a video saying that I ain't right, Londonseer ain't right, because I watched the video. I watched it a few times over. And he's saying I'm not right, or saying that, you know, I'm very stubborn. And what did he say? He said, what's the point? He said, that I'm going to...
Obscurity. Hey, Elder Rakar, right?
Yeah.
When we was in council with this brother, was he being stubborn?
Yeah.
I've never seen nothing like it. I've never been in a council, even in the world, the level of stubbornness that this guy showed in the council.
It was hard to settle the differences between him and Laban, you know, mostly from his side. It was hard to settle it. You know, Maad was like, you know, he was gonna, you know, go along with whatever we said, but that, you know, the world was never really happy about, you know, a judgment call or whatever, you know.
He wasn't trying to find no solutions. He wasn't trying to reconcile or find an amicable solution. He was stubborn. And at the end of the day, if you wanted to leave GMS back then, you should have just done that. All right? But you're a coward. But you're acting like you're this super duper warrior Israelite, man. Crazy. Corinthians 13:5. Examine yourselves whether you be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves how that Yahushua Hamashiach is in you, except you be reprobates. The Lord ain't in this dude, man. The fact that it's been 2 years and it's even said, not only did he think about it before he did it, he's had 2 years to think about what he did, and he still can't muster the humility to accept he was wrong. The Lord ain't dealing with you, man. And you ain't growing, and you haven't grown as an individual in this thing. You're just a Hebrew NPC.
Forget the point. I'm going to go to oblivion where I belong and everything. He said a lot of things, right? And it was himself. He can bear witness that I was looking to leave Great Millstone a few years before I actually walked out because of the violations that a man called Laban, the leader of GMS London Forecasters, what he was doing to me, man. Okay, due to his spite, due to his secret competition, right? This one-sided competition that he had with me. And this is me telling the truth, okay? Whether you want to believe it or not, that's up to you. I'm just putting it out there into the cosmos that this is what happened. You know, a lot of men might say it's hearsay and everything like that. But I'm just putting it out there to address the whole
Yeah, because he knows he's lying, innit? So it's got to be all this, the truth and what, man. Yeah, we're gonna say it's hearsay because most of what you're gonna say is just paranoid bullshit.
Like issue that I had with GMS London Forecasters, right? Okay, so it was quote unquote Elder Requirecom, the second in command of over here, the UK, across the pond, Great Millstone. I was looking to leave, so I called him up, right? You're talking about, so this is 2 years, you're talking about 5 years ago, damn, 5 years ago. I called him up saying I'm going to leave, rare. Then he called the council, right? So we had a FaceTime council, we had a FaceTime on the phone, we had a FaceTime council. So it was him, another elder, the light-skinned elder, I keep forgetting his name, right? And then it's me and another, and LeBron, right? Me and LeBron. So it's like a four men on the FaceTime council. So now, you know, I was bringing out how LeBron, the leader, right now, the leader of GMS London Forecasters over here in the UK, in London, how he had like a spite, man, this nitpicking at every little thing I did, nitpicking at any little thing that I did, right? So he could feel better about himself because he had this, you know, measuring himself up to me, right? And everything like that. The whole situation, I brought it all out. And at the end of the council, he had to admit, I'm talking about LeBron, the dude with the eye patch, right? I'll call him Cyclops, whatever, you know. So he had admitted that he was wrong for what he did, right? And so again, Requirecom, even though he's done a almost like a rebuke or saying Londonseer ain't right, he failed to acknowledge that council, man. He failed to acknowledge that council.
Now, hey, Rakar, you was in the council, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember the council like that?
Not the way he's putting it, no. Like,
No,
I don't
remember it like that.
The Bond took a very humble position in what was going on, and I think because he says he admitted that he did all this stuff that he's saying that he did, innit? I don't think LeBron admitted to that. I think LeBron was in it.
I don't think that's what happened at all.
you know, I'm sorry if I did all that and that's how I made you feel that type of way. You know,
Yeah, that's how it was.
That's how I remember it.
And he was just sitting there being stubborn, like, like he didn't care, like whether, you know, he was sitting there just being hella stubborn, like his perception of everything is like cast in stone.
You know, yes, LeBron did apologize, but like I said, you know, based off like how he made you feel in it, not basically if it was true or not. He's just like, you know, if that's how I've done it, I'm sorry or whatever, man. But like, it's like he don't believe the man was being sincere or whatever in it. So he don't trust his brother to be sincere, you know.
Yep. Yeah, that's how I remembered it. You know, we were just trying to bring it to like a conclusion so that they could be brothers and work together, which I thought that's what was going to happen. But this guy's a demon, and it's proven that he's the problem because now the camp is fine without him. It was him.
That was had right, all those years ago that I was being violated, so I'm not some victim. So he's trying to make out like, I'm trying to play this victim. I'm not trying to play anything. Do you understand? That's the truth.
Man's moving like he's Cassie in that, you know. That's how he's moving, like he was really getting like he was Cinderella, like he's some Disney princess or something, getting violated and all. Man,
and abused.
It wasn't that deep. Even most of the stuff that they were saying was very petty, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Childish even, bro. You know what I mean? It's just a bit. Yeah.
You know what? Let me go into the history of it. Let me start back from that point. At that point, when because at that point, like I said, he was nitpicking at me for over stupid things, man. I'll be in the camp. Remember, at the time I was second in command. LeBron was first in command at the time. Okay. Going back into the time where it was just me and him. It was just me and him in Brixton, right? We left London Central camp. It was me and him. And I'm trying to recollect it because remember this was a long time ago. So we was me in Brixton, and he left me because he felt like he needed to prove himself. Because remember at that time, I basically took the lead. Between me and him, I took the lead. And he left because I kept interjecting everything like that, right? Which I was wrong for. I was wrong for doing that. But back then I was young, man. I was young. We both were young. You understand? I was wrong for that. And I wronged him. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about LeBron, the leader of GMS London Forecasters, right? And so he left. And, you know, after a year, I went back to him and then we come back together and everything like that. And he actually told me at one point that he always believed that I was better than him. He always believed that he actually told me that. He actually believed that I was always better than him. And, but, you know, that's something that a man, you know, you tell a man that on a secret. You don't want to let everybody else know that. So he told me that. And I remember at one point, Require come asked me why me and him wasn't teaching together. I remember that phone call. I don't remember at one point, but Elder Require asked me, why are you not teaching together? And I didn't want to tell him the fact that LeBron, you know, he felt like I was better than him. I didn't want to tell him that because, again, that's like almost like a secret. That's an intimate thing that.
Not really.
You understand what I'm saying? But now I feel like I've got to bring it all out. I've got to bring it all out.
Yeah, he's just chatting breeze, man. This
is
all in his head, man. This is all in his head. Guy's insane.
Based on, you know, all, you know, elders is now saying I laid hands on the man. I'm going to get to that. I'm driving home.
Yeah, get to that, okay? Bro.
But I'm just going into the history. I'm breaking.
Get to that, because he's got all of what he's saying now has nothing to do with why he punched the brother. Absolutely nothing. And this is how you know he's wicked. This is what wicked people do. This is what this guy Olazar Bon lawyer just did. This is what these dudes do. It's like they have to build up this massive narrative to hide their shame, to hide their lies behind. That's why the scripture says, let your yea be yea and your nay be nay, and everything else cometh of evil, man. Anytime you see a man with bare talking and they're not really getting to the point and they're adding in all kind of extra shit that ain't got nothing to do with it, that's a deceiver. That's a liar. And a bad liar at that. 15 minutes in and he ain't got to the explanation as to why he punched the brother in the face and why it was justified. He's going 5 years before with a brother that ain't even the brother he punched. Make it make sense. But he ain't bitter, everybody. He's not bitter and he's not hurt. Flipping hell.
Breaking down the line because I don't want to be all over the place. So,
You are all over the
Eventually,
place, man.
require
Come
come,
on, bro.
second in
That's it. You
command
don't want to
of
be all over the
UK,
place.
also over here in UK.
Every time he
So, like,
says someone's name, he has to say their title.
Cool.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, but you're right, man. He will do the thing and then say he's not doing the thing. Oh my goodness. Rakaya Khan, the second in the command of GMS UK. Yeah, we heard that already. The first 3 times you said it, bro. This guy's insane. He's autistic or something, man. I'm sorry, man. Like,
He put
yeah, no,
LeBron first in command,
hold on.
made me second in command, right?
The elder Yashwamba,
Maybe
let me
second in
pause
command.
this. The elder
I
Yashwamba
knew it was like
said that he's not on
retribution for how I treated him. I was always interjecting back in the day and everything, like whatever. And then ever since
he wasn't he just trying to rebuke the elders. He was trying to rebuke Elder Ariella, Elder Yashwamba for saying they did a video with no scriptures. But 15 minutes in, he ain't said a scripture.
I don't think he does for the whole thing.
This
anyway.
guy is not even self-aware. Huh?
I don't think he does bring any scriptures out for the whole thing anyway.
Nah, but we heard in the beginning of the video, he was cursing out GMS saying they never brought out no scriptures. They were just making remarks. Do you see? This guy's, bro, flipping Alexa's more self-aware than this guy is. This guy is not self-aware at all.
Boy.
And any of you dudes in London, man, listen, if you're one of these strange, if you with this kind of guy, when you see me in the streets of London, just keep it pushing, man. Don't tell me no shalawam, man. Cause I don't want to be around no femgenites, man. No weirdos. Cause you have to be a weirdo to connect with a guy like this. This guy is weird.
he became first in command, he used that position to spite me, to get back at me, man. Right? That's the truth. Okay, how do I know? Because like I said, we had a 4-way council where Requircom was there, and LeBron admitted that was the case. He was doing it, right? He was actually doing it.
I don't think that happened.
Right? And in the end of that council, that 4-way count, that FaceTime council on the phone, right, like I was going into, LeBron was like, oh, I'll be the bigger man. I'll be the bigger man, right? And then Requircom had to check him and said, we're not doing that. And this is exactly what I was saying, that this guy LeBron, he always is trying to play power games, always trying to get the leg over on me.
Hey, yo.
Trying to be the bigger man. And that right there was...
Hey, yo, leg over is crazy.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Right in Requircom's face. That's what he was about, man. He was trying to just prove that he was the bigger man over me. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Nah, the reason I said that is because I wanted them to come to an actual conclusion. That was gonna be a solution. I wasn't, he completely misinterpreted what I was doing. I didn't want it to be like I'm gonna be a bigger man type thing. I wanted it to be like they actually make an agreement and move on.
Yeah,
that's where I was coming from. But he sees the world like different, bro. It's insane. You got demon goggles on.
To prove he was the bigger man. Right? He said, I'll be the bigger man. And he was about to go into something else, but Requircom immediately cut him off and said, we're not doing that. But as that Requircom didn't clock that this is the type of man that he is. He's the type of man to try and exalt himself and he wants to be the bigger man. He's got some competition with me, like a one-sided beef. He wants to be, even though he was violating me, right? Nitpicking at any little thing that I do just so he can feel better about himself. Okay. One time, I remember one time, man.
And it actually tells you a lot, yeah, when a guy sees someone nitpicking you as a violation. Don't you think?
So say that again, bro.
Don't you think, yeah, that if you see someone nitpicking you, meaning pointing out when you're doing something wrong or whatever, why do you see that as a violation? Like, to me, that's not a violation. You know what I'm saying? The fact that he sees it as a violation shows you that he just has a problem with anybody telling him anything. To him, that's a violation. It's like, no, you can't tell me nothing. That's how that's the spirit he's in. That stubborn, rebellious spirit, that unruly spirit that can't be told.
Yeah.
This despising government. Because what I would describe as a violation is completely different to what he's describing as a violation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And this
calm.
is where it gets all spooky because you're like, what world are you living in, bro? Nitpicking is not a violation.
You know, what was it? So many occasions. One time he was like, telling me to take off my hat. Because I had a hat, like a multicolored hat, right? You know, red, yellow, black. And he said, oh, you got to take that off. These are Rastafarian colors, man. You got to take that off. Again, trying to make me look like the bad guy just for wearing a multicolored hat. And another time, he's like, oh, you know, you got demons on you. Because one time I was stretching at the camp. Because naturally, if you at camp and you standing there for hours on end, right, you're going to stretch because your back's hurt. You standing there.
And the whole wearing the Rastafari, the red, gold, and green, right? The reason why Ma'ad was speaking about that was because of where they were in Brixton and the amount of Rastafarians there are. So they had a lot of Rastafarians that were coming up and thinking that they were part of the same thing. So it's like, well, don't wear the Rasta colors in this particular setting because man don't want to be confused with these Rasta man. That's why he was bringing it up. And then that led to later when he was wearing the bandana with the marijuana leaf. You remember? And he ended up having to get talked to about that.
Yeah, he couldn't just keep it simple. He had to like toe the line, innit? Everywhere he was going.
Really, he should just be a Rastafarian. He reminds me of them bugged out Rastafarians, man. That's really what he should be. You know what I'm saying?
There for hours on end. And then man, like, you know, I think you got demons on you, man. You got demons on you, man. And I was like,
and it looks like he was right on that. Maybe you was stretching because you had demons on you. You know? You know?
Hey, then the elders are supposed to say, man, all the illnesses are demons anyway.
Yeah, hey, listen, maybe he was stretching crazy because he had demons on him. I'm starting to think, yeah, maybe that was the case.
And he showed me the clip of me stretching in the camp, and I was like, bro, like, I'm stretching. So I always knew that the man was after me, man. Why? Because this is his lick back. This is his get back. Okay, so that's what I was saying. That's why we had to have that faith. And I was, like I said, I was looking to leave Great Millstone. From back then. Okay. And that
So
was
like
like 3 years.
You're saying he's looking to leave Great Millstone, but why would you have to? Like, wouldn't you just leave the camp?
Yeah.
Why would you need to leave Great Millstone?
He could have asked to come do camp with us. You know, there was other solutions other than leaving Great Millstone. But really, it was a foreshadowing of what was going to ultimately happen anyway, because you weren't really meant to be among us. Because you're a demon. You were, what was crept in, what's the scripture say, man? Yeah, let me get that. He crept in unawares, man. What's that? The book of Jude, right?
Jude, yeah.
And you know, man, hey, things happen the way it happened, but in hindsight, I should have kicked your ass out, man. But I wasn't watching closely enough. But it is what it is. It's brought us to where we are now.
4.
Huh?
4, verse 4.
Yeah, okay. Jude 1 and 4. For there are certain men crept in unawares, right, who were before of old ordained to this condemnation, ungodly men, turning the grace of our God into lasciviousness and denying the only Lord God and our Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. I will therefore put you in remembrance, though you once knew this, how that the Lord, having saved the people out of the land of Egypt, afterward destroyed them that believed not. And the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting chains on the darkness, unto the judgment of the great day. And this guy is in darkness. And we should have seen it that day when he was being hella stubborn. He had a dark spirit on him, man. That stubbornness he had was extremely dark. Even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh, are set forth for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire. Likewise, also these filthy dreamers defile the flesh, despise dominion. And that's really why he wanted to leave Great Millstone. He wants to just be able to do whatever he wants to do.
Mm.
and speak evil of dignities. All right. Let me just jump down.
If I can say, Zakwan,
Yeah.
the way he operates, it's like it's the Wad's world and we're all living in it, kind of thing. Like, and that scripture you just read, any order that, or any standard, any order, he always moved like a gal. Like, he wanted to push the boundary, see how far he could go without getting cut or told off about something. He's always pushing the boundaries. It's like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah, but that's why he wanted to go with this camp and that camp and was doing it behind people's backs, knowing that as Great Millstone, if you're not in Great Millstone, we don't keep camp with you, especially if you're teaching different doctrines. You know what I mean? Anyway, it says, I'm gonna just get straight to verse 12. These are spots in your feasts of charity when they feast with you, feeding themselves without fear. Clouds they are without water, carried about of winds, trees whose fruit withereth, without fruit, twice dead, plucked up by the roots, raging waves of the sea, foaming out their own shame, wandering stars, to whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever. And that's this guy, man.
Before I actually left Great Millstone and I laid hands on the guy, his name is called, Caleb of GMS London Central, part of that same camp over here in the UK. This is all 3 years prior. So now we had that FaceTime council, right? And everything is brought out. I was saying that, LeBron is due to eye patch. He's been violating me, trying to, nitpick at everything I do, everything like that, just so he can feel better about himself, so he can feel that he has got some type of preeminence. Remember, he's first in command, I'm second in command, but he still feels like he's got to prove that he's better than me. So that all got brought out at the FaceTime council. And it was true because he admitted it. LeBron, he admitted that that's what he was doing. But even in that, he had to say, well, I'll be the bigger man. I'll be the bigger man. And
Yeah, so for the record, he didn't admit to it. So I don't know. I don't remember the council going that way, but I'm sober, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, we weren't emotionally charged. You know what I mean? We're not emotionally charged in that situation, bro. So
yeah.
we haven't got a preconception of what it is. We judged it as we saw it.
Yeah, it didn't go the way he's saying it went, but in his world, it did.
then Require comes, we're not doing it. So Require comes to this clock right there that was his MO. Because remember that LeBron said it to my face. Like, he has a need to be the bigger man. And you see that right there. Let me go into the history. So let me talk on. So he said he felt like he needed to be the bigger man. Require come checked him. And then Require come basically saying, all right, from now on, you two are going to rule GMS London forecasters together. You're going to rule all them brothers that right now in GMS London forecasters, you're going to rule them together. You're both going to be first in command. No first in command, second in command. You're both going to be ruling them together. I knew right from there that would be a problem. Right from there. But I never said anything because in the day that the laws will be done, these are orders. We followed it. And lo and behold, right after that, what did LeBron do? LeBron took the men without me knowing and put them into the bushes. Me, I'm a frontliner. I'm a striker. I take pride in being a striker, a man that makes my body.
Take pride in being a striker.
but again, what we were saying before, it's the pride that's built up in this man. I take pride. It's built up in his mind that he's some sort of super prophet.
Yeah. Hey, Jeremiah, was you around back then when COVID and all that?
Yeah.
So when you guys were going out to camp, didn't you post where the camp was in the group chat or something?
Yeah, it was, everything was shared where we're gonna be and stuff like that.
So then how is he saying that he didn't know where the camp was and all this stuff?
Because he just didn't want to come down.
See, he's lying again, because I know we operate with groups. Group chat. So he's trying to make it look like they were going out to camp, but he didn't know nothing about it.
They were hiding it from me.
Yeah, he didn't like the locations, so he just didn't bother to come.
That's really what it is. That's because he's in love with Brixton. Well, you can have Brixton, man, because he's a striker.
He's a striker, bro.
Sacrifice on the streets, on the front line. And LeBron, he took the men into Vauxhall Park, man.
Bro, you talking all this sacrifice here, but you can't even show your hairline. It's crazy. And you know what? It's that same
Vauxhall Park.
Alazar Bondola spirit, man. Now, there's gonna be brothers that's insecure about their hairline. I get it, but like this guy's the way he's talking is like he just don't give a damn. He's just a soldier. So why are you insecure about your hairline? You know?
I just went along with it because remember he didn't discuss this with me. He just went there like he put them in there, told all the men like, you're gonna be there, we're gonna be there. And I was like, well, I had no input in that. I was like, cool, whatever. So I had to ask around the brothers, where you guys gonna be? Because I heard that the man are in a certain area. So I was like, where you guys gonna be? He said, oh yeah, we're gonna be in Vauxhall. So I was tagged along, right? Then in Vauxhall. But you know, I talked with them for a while in these different park areas within Vauxhall over here in London, right? And then they moved again. They moved again to another park area within Vauxhall. And again, I wasn't summoned. No one, LeBron didn't talk with this.
I wasn't summoned.
Wow.
I told you this guy is a demon. Man said he wasn't summoned, you know.
Yeah.
That's a demon. Man's Beelzebub. Man said he wasn't summoned, you know, like man had to get some candles and a pentagram.
Invoke him.
So, brother, hey, Jeremiah, what's this all about? Was you there in Vauxhall?
Yeah, we was in Vauxhall.
So what's he talking about?
We let him know. And then even on like say particular Saturdays, he would message me directly and be like, oh, what time? And I said same time as usual. Kick off 1, 2 p.m., whatever. We're there. Anytime we moved, we told him. He just didn't want to come down.
Yeah, boy.
And he's chatting shit because the 1 or 2 occasions he was there, what do you mean nobody told you? You knew where the camp was because there's video footage of him being there on the rare occasion. Because if you know the south side, Vauxhall round that way is not too far from Brixton and, you know, where he likes to be. So on 1 or 2 occasions, he would just pop up. But when we started moving elsewhere, we told him. And he's just like, nah, I just don't want to be there. I've had countless conversations with this guy. And it would be before camp, after camp, call me in the week. Oh, you guys are in the bushes. I like the front line. It's like, we're not in the bushes, bro. Like first of all, that narrative's wrong. But his main reason is he just didn't want to be anywhere outside of Brixton.
That's what it is. He's got that that demonic South London, Brixton, NPC, Hebrew Israelite spirit that we know.
But you know what?
These type of characters.
You know what? He can't be the Brixton prophet if he's not in Brixton, bro.
But there you go.
Yeah.
The people them. And then you know why how it don't hold weight? Because at the end of the day, the common sense will tell you that if you're going out to camp on Saturday, if I get to Saturday and I don't know where camp's gonna be, then I'm just gonna phone somebody. So there's no excuse. That's like, well, I don't know where camp is. So yeah, phone somebody. We got mobile phones. So he's just trying to paint a picture. That's what he is, man. But the picture ain't even pretty.
It's lucky, bro. I don't know if I will bring this up right now, but like, isn't this the same brother that didn't want to work because of Esau?
Yeah. He just said, I don't want to work for the white man.
It just came to mind, Slakia.
Yeah. He was that dude. Yeah. I don't want to work for the white man and all this stuff. He's a bug out, man. Well, I remember when I heard that, I'm like, what? This guy's bugged out, man.
He told me he's a quite I don't like the fact that we have to pay taxes. But hold on, didn't Yahweh Shai say, give unto Caesar that which is Caesar's, and that which to the Most High, which is the Most High's?
Yeah.
Boy. I mean, we all don't like taxes, but we have to pay them, dog.
Yeah.
Bugged out, man.
No, I had no idea, but I had no input. And that's when I knew right from there that, again, he's trying to assume command and put me to the side. I clocked that. Clock that.
So rather be a grown up about it and actually have a discussion with LeBron. Man was just like, fuck it, I'll just do what I'm doing then, innit?
Yeah. And he could have called. He could have called us.
Yeah, exactly.
But you see, what's going to bake his noodle is that Elder Ramar ended up telling them not to go Brixton anyway. So that just crashed this whole parade, man. It broke his heart.
Yeah.
That Harlem, because for brothers that don't know, Brixton is basically the Harlem of the UK, innit? And just like Harlem got gentrified, so is Brixton. These dudes are just in love with Brixton, boy. Anyway. Why does it keep trying to go full screen?
About the Howies and Bowies. LeBron is not about that. He's about these. Remember, he's the chief captain right now of GMS and Forecasters. They're not about the highways and byways. They're about these bushes. If I had it my way, I would have took the men into the highways and byways. I would have took them into the streets. So they should.
But I thought he
truly
didn't
know
want
what
to
it
be a
means.
bishop.
Right.
I distinctly remember at the beginning of this video, he said he did not desire the position of a bishop. Sounds to me like he wanted to be a bishop. That's what it sounds like. This guy's a demon. The Bible tells you a double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways, man. He's unstable. The beginning of the video, to get out of what the Apostle Gabar said, oh, I didn't desire to be a bishop. But then all this is like him wanting to be the bishop, him wanting to decide things, him wanting to lead the men. Yeah, that's a bishop, bro. But he said he didn't desire it. God, boy.
To be, do you understand? To make your body a living sacrifice, to not hide your face from shame and spitting. So, like I said, I'm just putting this video into the cosmos. A lot of brothers that watch this video, you might think this is hearsay. I'm just talking. I'm giving you a history, a backdrop of my whole issue with GMS London Forecasters, the camp that I was the first in command of, according to the command of Requirecom, the second in command of GMS London Central.
Yeah, we know. How many times are you going to tell everyone I'm the second in command? Damn.
Okay, so I'm giving you the backdrop of that. Okay, and why I eventually laid hands on the man, which I'm going to get into just to stay with me. Okay. So he's moving the men around without telling me, and I see what's going on. So basically, I'm being ostracized from the camp. They put the intent of LeBron was to have him put this. He wanted it for himself. Remember, like I said,
the elder said that your Carl demon, that another bug out, another mental patient. He's the one that's pushing this. You guys are not on the highway stuff. Yeah, because he's rolling with this guy. So all these demons end up congregating. Maybe they were in the same demonic space in the spiritual realm. So when they come down, they just end up linking up together. You know me, like brethren. Maybe the demons that's on him is demons with your car. I don't know how they managed to connect. Because my man's all the way in America, and he ended up connecting with this guy here in London. It's insane.
But it's like I was saying before, all this argument about the highways.
Sometimes
yeah.
All this argument about whether or not you're on the highways and that kind of stuff, right? The scripture speaks about the highways and the hedges, but this guy never acknowledges the hedges part, right? Right? Not every brother is going to be on the highways, and we've been on the highways. You know what I mean? We've been to different places already. You know what I mean? We've not stayed in one location.
More than him.
Yeah.
More than him, and we've been to places that's even more populated than him. Like, so who does this guy think he is?
And the spirit right now is that we're in the hedges right now, or some of us, not even all of us. Some of us are just, where we are right now through the spirit, right? But you go to check out the word hedges in that scripture, right? It says a hedge, a fence, that which separates, prevents two from coming together, right? We don't have to be necessarily in the main area of every public space possible. You know what I'm saying? So this argument is asinine anyway, but it just makes them feel better because it makes you feel like the men are doing the real thing, which again adds to their ego.
Yeah, but he's only in Brixton. Like, what are we doing here? I don't know.
I had a body camera on me so I could film every situation where he said certain things. But like I said, when things happen out of the blue, you're not going to fucking remember the date and the time and where he said it. You don't remember the place where he said it. But he said this to me. He said this. He said, I got to be in control, man. I got to be in control. I remember he said that to me, and I never cared about authority and being called an elder. I never cared.
But you know what, man? I believe that Ma'ad said that. But I know why Ma'ad said that and would do that, because the way Ma'ad is, man, he tries very hard to do his job.
He's fearful.
Yeah, like he's very. You know what he's like. Yeah. So if as the leader of the camp, he's always going to be trying to make sure that things are run properly. So I couldn't believe he said that. But my very sincere brother is doing it out of love. This guy a demon, man. Oh, I need to just use this one.
cared about it. I didn't even care about being. I remember by the time before Elder Require of GMS London Central, before he told us that me and him were going to root together, man playing second come, I didn't care. I didn't care about all that. I just wanted to teach the word. Do you understand?
It's a lie.
But again, LeBron, having this secret one-sided competition, because if you bring it to his face, he's going to deny. He goes, "Oh, I don't know what he's talking about. He's going to throw rocks and hide his hands." That's his whole thing, right? But anyway. So he's moving the men around within different areas within London without telling me. Remember, I'm first in command. So is he. So we're both rooting together. So he's moving the men around without telling me. All right. So my whole thing is, man, if you want authority that bad, because remember, I was at this point when I clocked it, I was vexed. I was angry. I was like, I'm not even going to confront him because I don't care. I don't care about authority and being called an elder. I didn't care. First in command. Real power is defying gravity, man. Real power is teleporting.
Slacker. He said he didn't care, but he got angry and vexed.
It don't make no sense. It
You
don't
obviously
make no
do
sense.
care. You obviously disagree, and it was a strong disagreement that you had. But like I said, you didn't really talk it out with the brother, or raise it back to us, or whatever the case may be. You just decided, fuck it, I ain't gonna do shit about it. Then I'm just gonna do what I want to do.
Then he starts going on this philosophical rant about what real power is. It's crazy. Oh my goodness, man. My man ate my last chicken wing. I didn't care, but I was angry. Yeah. Makes sense.
I'm not even going to confront him because I don't care. I don't care about authority and being called an elder. I didn't care. First in command. Real power is defying gravity, man. Real power is teleporting to different areas. Real power is walking on the sea. Real power is immortality. That's real power. That's what I'm striving for. That, man. To be out there in the street trying to prove myself, trying to bring in brothers, trying to present men before the Lord and say, this is what I brought for. That's my thing. Right? But LeBron, he just wanted authority over men. He just wanted men subject to him. Do you understand? And I was like, listen, if you want power over the men that bad, are you gonna, make plans without telling me? Basically, make a party and not invite me to the party. I'm not gonna show up. That's why I went to the highways and byways. That's what you saw. If you look
Right. So translating all of that flipping bullshit he just said, basically what happened was he didn't want to go teach where them brothers was teaching because he wanted to stay in Brixton. That's, we translate all that garbage that he just tried to spew to make himself into a victim. He really just wanted to only preach in Brixton. All right. That's it. That's where he's comfortable.
Look through my videos, you will see that I taught in the streets when I was in Great North
or Clapham or somewhere in South, whatever.
I taught in the streets, and LeBron side of the camp taught in the bushes. They taught in these secluded park areas, all these. Right? I said to myself, if you want the camp that bad, where you're willing to supplant me, and right, just after we had a FaceTime council where it got brought out, you was violating me for all this time, nitpicking everything I do, just so you can feel better and prove that you somebody. I said to myself, you know what, man? If it means that much to you, keep the camp, man. Keep London
Hey,
forecast.
bro. Can I just ask Jeremiah something? Jeremiah, you share the camp with LeBron now, right?
Right.
Is this the way he treats you? Because he wants the camp.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
If a guy was that mad about having his camp and doing his own thing and run it how he wants to run it, then it would be like with every person that he shares the leadership with. You know what I'm saying? But obviously there's an issue with this particular character because he's stubborn.
He's insane.
And I'm going to tell you something about a lot of the men in that camp, right? I'm a one, RER. I'm a one, RER. Yeah, Carl. Who else? I'm RER. I'm a one. Yeah, Carl. Yoramio. Right? It was me that brought them into GMS, man. And
I did it. I brought them in.
It was me.
It was just me. Bro,
it's the Wad's world and we're all living in it, man.
And this is the thing. When I was watching this part, I was thinking this is all about himself now, about him as a man, the Lord, a prophet, like what he can do, what he does. Not, it's all the Spirit. It's the Lord bringing man in. It's not you. It's not any of us. We're just tools, man. But none of us give ourselves the glory, like what you're doing right now.
Yeah, but the scriptures speak about you bring brothers in and then you fall out too.
Yeah.
That happens. How many men have brought brothers in and taught brothers and then they're not here no more?
Exactly.
So what does that mean? But thank you for your service, sir.
You know what
Your
he said as well?
Your country appreciates you.
You know, he said as well in the first video when he was addressing the elder Manatas Akbar, he goes, you turned away that brother. I want that. And he goes, talking about the elder, he goes, do you not know that your name could have been exalted? So his thing is about my name being exalted because I bring such and such in and this and that. And
Salakia, this guy's insane. First of all, man, it's the Lord that brings in the fruit, you know. It's Yahweh Shai that brings anyone into this thing. All right. 16th gracious, man.
I have to go and see that there's so much ins and outs. Do you understand? The same guy, you're the guy that's talking so much rubbish against me right now. You know, he's like the second in command of GMS London Forecasters. He's in great millstone because of me.
Yeah, it's messed up when you recruit your replacement, isn't it? it's peak. That shit got hurt. It'll hurt me. I'll tell you the truth. You know, like, you know, if you you know, imagine like you're at a job, yeah, and like you tell your brethren, oh yeah, apply, and they come in and you know you train them, and then you get fired and they take your job. Man, be hurt. Anyway,
right? He's saying that he'd kill me. He wants to kill me, but he took that video down, right? Because you know I don't watch their videos, but brothers that I'm affiliated with, that I'm associated with, watch their videos and they make clips of the video and they'll send it to me. I'll watch the video and I'm like,
yeah, he's saying you said you wanted to kill him in a video.
Nah. What happened is that when he punched up Caleb, I said in the video, because he made a video saying, oh, I'm gonna return the money, whatever, we'll get to that. And I said, listen, if you come down on violence, we'll defend ourselves. And the brothers in the camp, you can ask them, they know me that as we all do, we don't really take that taking the piss out of men lightly kind of thing. So I said, if you come on some funny man business, again, that was a one-off. The spirit had it play out how it did. But if you ever come around on some funny man business trying to punch man up, that's not going to happen again.
Well, yeah, there you go. Let's keep it going.
okay, but they're not telling me that the man in his car is telling me that he wants to kill me. I'm like, but then he took the video down though. You know, talking about GMS, right? You're wrong. He's the second in command of GMS London Forecasters, right? The small, short guy. He's in GMS because of me. Him and some other guys in that camp, not all of them, but some of the guys in that camp, they're in GMS because of me, right? That's the truth. That's not me trying to get vainglory or nothing like that. But that's
absolutely trying to get
vainglory. Oh man.
Yeah, what's this got to do with you punching a man up?
And that's what my thing is in terms of integrity, right? You're Rami, this guy himself, you know, he's talking a whole bunch of madness against me, you know, accusing me of, you know, there's a lot of things he's saying. And my whole thing is if you had any integrity as a man, right? I'm talking about GMS, exalt the Most High, you're Rami. If he had integrity, just like David had integrity when King Saul brought in David, when everybody else refused David, even his own brethren, his biological brethren. It was Saul.
So he's Saul.
yeah, come on, man. And the way he's spinning the narrative is as if like all of us, Yakal, Amawan, myself, we were just walking by Brixton one day and, you know, he came with the, do you know you're an Israelite narrative, and we got enlightened through him. No, us brothers were teaching from back Lackamar times. So, yeah. You know what I mean? The way he's trying to spin it as if, you know, he's the king, we're the sorry people, and we wouldn't know about the truth.
He's solely responsible for your salvation.
Yeah, come on, man.
But he don't rate him, so why is he trying to? I don't get it, man. And then you comparing yourself to Saul, but then Saul was going off, man. So
and Saul was the king.
And then but I'm gonna let him speak, but he's about to break it down wrong anyway.
Saul that brought in David, and then through the Spirit, I believe that's why David.
With the Most High that brought in David. Through the prophet Samuel. This guy talking about.
Never really disrespected Saul because it was Saul, King Saul himself, that brought in David, man.
No, David didn't disrespect Saul because he was the Lord's anointed.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy don't even. Again, he's trying to twist everything to surround him and his BS. So basically, because of that, Yeramia can't rebuke him. That's why he got so angry that Caleb brought him to council, because his thing was, "Oh, you're beneath me, so you can't bring me to council." Boy, oh boy.
Right? So it's an honor thing. It's an honor. It's a cold thing. Like you're not going to disrespect the man that brought you to where you are. But GMS exalt the Most High. He doesn't have that level of integrity. He doesn't have that, man. Because remember, it was me that brought him in, because it was me that I wanted those guys to be a part of Great Millstone. Right? Your Ramya, One, your Carl, over your. Right? There was other men. There was a lot of other men. I wanted them to be a part of GMS, and I went because remember at the time, Laban was first in command. Remember that at the time, he was first in command. I was second in command. So I told Laban, I said, listen, these men, remember Lakamar of old, the tool Lakamar. Raquacom knows what I'm talking about. The Lakamar of old. Okay, the tall Benjamite guy that was once upon a time, he was in London Central in Oxford Circus, the tall Benjamite guy. Right? All those men was underneath him. Because remember, there was a separation. Lakamar, he went his own way, he fucked off, right? Right? Because when I came into London Central, I saw that there was a breach, it was Lakamar, the other guy. Kind of one from I forget his name, but he left now. And then all the men were there. But anyway, I told LeBron to say, listen, Lakamar, he's now left the men. He's fucked off to Jamaica. He's a hireling. He fucked off. And now he's left the men alone. Ashan was in that camp. Ashan, right? The leader of Church of Yahweh Shai, right? He's now bugged out. He's bugged out now, man.
Like you.
Right? He's bugged out now. But he was underneath Lakamar of old. And he was calling me saying, oh, yeah, these men, rare, they need leadership, because remember, he knows me from Peckham. He knows me from Peckham, rare.
Can I stop it there, Zakwan, Baba Kashar? Yeah. And that shows that everything's the spirit. And as you said earlier, it plays out how it's meant to play out. But really, Ashan had no right. He just said it, oh, Ashan knows me from Peckham. So they must be brethren from the world or whatever. But Ashan, out of all of us, Ashan's the newest cat. So what business did Ashan have calling him saying, oh, men need this, men need that? He just knows, oh, I know a guy from Brixton that preaches. Let me call him up. But he wants to spin the narrative that we were all lost, didn't know what to do, and he's the savior that came and brought order to everything. It's all about him. Like every single point is where he's the king and we're the sorry people. You see, he's crazy, man.
Him and Ashan, woof. Those are two nut jobs, man.
Boy.
And he kept calling me on the phone. Yeah, these men need order. So I came down once to try and rare, because he knows that, I've been in the truth before him. I'm talking about Ashan, the Ghanaian, the dark skinned guy, Church of Yahweh Shai, him. You understand? He was calling me saying, oh, these men need order. So I made a couple phone calls. I came to Laban. I called Laban. I told Laban about these brothers in, over there, right? Because remember, Lakamar, the tall Lakamar, he fought the bar, man. He was a good,
this is one thing. Yeah.
Laban, the brother from Scotland, he's gone back into the world. The beloved brother, the bar, right? The beloved.
Why is he beloved if he's gone back into the world?
Yeah.
What's this guy talking about, man?
Man, the bar. I swear that every time I mention his name, I want to cry, man. Every time
Man did a moment of silence for the bar.
Niggas in the world, man.
He made it sound like he died or something, man.
Yeah, bro, I swear, I thought he died, didn't it? I was like, oh shit, did the bar die? Like, what happened? That's like, what? He just went back into the world. Man's all crying. This guy's a bug out, man.
Anyway, so it was him. Us three, at the time, it was us in Waterloo. And all the men that was once upon the Lakamar,
I've got to skip some of this because it's all irrelevant.
Always seen you and me as alpha males.
Okay, this part now, because I asked Ma'ad about this. Ma'ad said they were talking about women, and this guy now trying to make it look like they were talking about the camp.
Right, and this is when he takes off his mask. He takes off his mask, right? And he takes off his mask. He says, well, he's been drinking a bit. I drank a little bit, but I remember this. He's in his drink, right? Drinking the red wine. And he says to me, I've always seen you and me as alpha males. And then he takes me by my arm, this arm, my left arm. I remember that. He took me by my left arm. And he does like a tug of war, a push and pull type of thing. And I'm looking at him like, remember, he's in his drink, so he's got like a crooked smile on his face while he's doing this back and forth on my arm. And I'm looking at him like what does he mean by that? remember,
Yeah, I spoke to Ma'ad. He said they were talking about women. So this guy is actually insane. Let me try to skip through some of this, man, because this guy just keeps chatting shit.
everything I'm saying right now could be hearsay. It could all be hearsay. It's all hearsay to you, man. Because remember, I don't have a second or third witness. I don't have a second. Well, I'm saying rebuke video on Manata's up over GMS £1,100 in cash.
There we go. All right. So now we're actually 43 minutes in. We're going to get to what actually led up to him punching the brother. So all that stuff before was all bullshit.
On the dude Caleb, I prayed for him the same day that I laid hands on him. The same.
That's crazy.
Do you understand? That demon would come off of him. The man there in GMS UK, they were for the bushes. I met him in GMS London Central, and we taught in Brixton. And he's been on ever since then. He's been on his vendetta against me. Now he will lie. If you bring this to him, he will lie. He will say, "Oh, he'll throw rocks and hide his hands." You know.
What's
like I said,
this guy's mouth, man?
Everything I'm saying right now could be hearsay. It could all be hearsay. It's all hearsay to you, man. Because remember, I don't have a second and a third witness. I don't have a second and a third witness. I remember when I was in GMS, I was by myself. I was the only man that stood for the highways and byways. All the rest of them guys over here in the UK, GMS in the UK, not talking about in America, I'm talking about in the United Kingdom. They all went to the bushes. When the elder apostle Tahar gave that edict, because remember the first lockdown, when you had the 6 feet measures and the whole thing like that, they all went into the bushes. I didn't give a crap about that, man. I still stood for the highways and byways, man.
There you go.
To the streets.
You know, he despised government, man.
Yeah.
But, you know, I respect the elders. Double honors.
Can I grab something? Can I say something quick, bro?
Yeah, bring it out.
Romans 10, verse 2, right? It says, "For I bear them record that they have a zeal for the Most High, but not according to knowledge." Right? So you're showing all this zeal that you have because, you know, you're frontline striker warrior thing, right? but you lack spiritual understanding, man. And, you know, the scriptures you don't understand properly. You know? They say it's admirable. Don't get me wrong. Like, you know, it's good that, you know, you want to go out there and warrior, but it doesn't make you
admirable.
That don't make you any better. It don't make you better. It don't make you some super prophet. You know what I'm saying? Than other brothers that are not where you at in Brixton. And this is what you think. This is what you got in your head. That's why you don't respect. That's why you don't respect the man that are out there wherever they are. You only respect yourself. You know? Go on up.
Stood for the highways. I know. You understand what I'm saying? So that's where it was. You know, I was always the odd one out. I was always the guy within Great Most. Over here in the UK, I was different from the rest of them. Okay, Raquacom said that himself. He said I never fitted it, and he's true on that. That's probably the one thing that I agree with him.
Raquacom, special one, isn't it?
UK folk. Yeah, niggas are oddball.
That's the one thing that he said was true. In his response video of what, you know, while saying rebuke video on Manata's up over GMS South Carolina, right? It was true. I never belonged. You know why I never belonged? Because I was for the highways and byways. All the man there in GMS UK, they were for the bushes. Man, I was never about that. And
so what's the byways then, bro?
You see the funny.
What's the byways then?
But what he's saying is like, bro, what are you talking about though? Like, it's just, this is just fluff, innit? It's difficult for me to engage my brain on the level that he's on because it's just, let's keep going, man.
Going back to the whole talking point, LeBron, right? Even in that, I never hated him. I still pray for him. I remember praying for him when I was working in that Indian shop. I was doing like deliveries on my motorbike, on my moped, not my motorbike, on my moped. Okay, I remember praying for him on the side because I was waiting for orders, whatever. I remember praying for him. I always prayed for him, man. That demon, that competition demon, will come off of him. Right? Do you understand? That demon would come off of him. So don't ever think that I hate them, man. I don't hate them, man. I didn't hate them. I always prayed for him. Even when I laid hands on the dude Caleb, I prayed for him the same day that I laid hands on him.
That's crazy, man.
So my thing is this, right? What did you pray for when you prayed for him? Like, did you pray for his wounds that you inflicted on him?
Pray for him to learn how to duck or something. Like, this is crazy, man. You laid hands on a brother that's in this truth with you, and then you prayed for him. Boy, I don't know. I don't even know if I need to explain how crazy that is. Yeah.
The same day that I laid hands on Caleb, I prayed for him that very same day. So I never hated him.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep it professional, but the man got so angry, yeah, because it weren't even immediately. I think the council happened, right, brother? The council happened, and then brothers were still teaching, right?
Yeah, brother. The other brothers were still teaching, and we had the council on the side.
And then after the council was done, it weren't even straight away that you punched him, was it?
No, because we addressed the brothers on the line, and then when we closed out everything, done the salute, brothers were there chilling, and then he walked up. That's when he walked up to him and did what he had to do.
That's crazy. But you didn't hate him though. That's it.
Oh, I got to add, Zaquan. When we crazy when LeBron and myself were addressing the brothers on the line, this guy was pacing up and down like he looked like a madman. He was just walking like random directions in the park, change direction, pacing like he's speed walking or something. And LeBron and myself was looking at each other like, what's this guy doing? But he was psyching himself up. So by the time we closed out and called the salute, he approached Caleb and punched him up.
And that's because I got it here. We ain't got time to show it all, but I've got the documents. That with all of the all the bullshit that Dawada was doing. I got it. You know, his woman cheated on him and he was going to put her face up all up on the camera at camp. All that BS. And then because the brother brought that out, he got angry. He got angry that he got exposed for all the BS that he was doing. He got suspended, and when he came back from suspension, he wasn't repentant from what he did. He was laughing about it. I got everything that the brother said, and everything in here is correct. That, yeah, you're going off. And he didn't like it. He didn't like that this brother exposed him. So he got angry and lashed out. That's not a man of the Lord. You get rebuked and you get angry about it, and that's Cain.
Yeah.
That's the spirit of Cain. Like you did wrong, and the brother brought you to counsel about it, and you get angry because of that, and then you strike that. That's literally Cain. You know? I got it. Go on. You were saying something, bro?
Yeah, I was gonna say, because some of this stuff he would say, oh, these were secrets. So it's like, oh,
what?
No, I was gonna say some of these things he would consider secrets, but like that woman issue that he's gonna put up on the camera, like that he made that he was doing that at camp. That wasn't private. He made that.
Yeah. Why would you do that? If your woman cheated on you because for whatever reason, probably because you're mad, yeah, and she's probably mad as well because people that are mad get together. Yeah, so no doubt she's probably a nut job as well. Why are you trying to put her face and all that shit up on the camera? That's not what the camp is supposed to be for. And the brother told him that. The brother said, nah, there ain't no edification in that. But he's a carnal man. And because the brother exposed it, then he's getting angry. Oh, you're giving away secrets. Bro, you're a nut job. All right.
Right. And that's why I delivered the money. You see that money? The £1,100 in cash. That's why I put it down. Right. So damn, man, there's so much that happened, man. So much that happened. So let me go back to because we had the whole situation where LeBron took the men to the bushes and moving around without telling me. Right. I clocked that. I went into the streets. We took them into the bushes. He took them to what was it? North London, deep into the forest.
Yeah, like
deep into the forest, man.
The elder Yashawan was
and I was like, I'm driving up there. I'm gonna take
the elder Yeshua
My motor pit up there and
on
driving
the comment board that the hedges is the bushes. But like I said, this guy, he's an NPC. That's all it is. He's a non-playable character, man. He doesn't have any deeper understanding than what is on the surface. And even then, he don't even apply it the way he really claims to apply it, as we're gonna bring out.
up there into some deeper sound some forest. I'm gonna teach in the streets. And who accompanied me? Caleb, the dude that revealed all my secret, the dude that I laid hands on. Caleb and
right, he keeps saying that Caleb, and you're gonna hear him repeat, Caleb revealed all of his secrets. The secrets he's talking about is all the bullshit like he was doing, like going to keep camp with other camps outside of GMS. Do you know what I mean? Like the stuff he was doing with the money. Like to him, that's the secrets.
I'm afraid to say his name, but I'll have to. I can't beat around the bush, man. Ahab, right? Ahab, the beloved brother.
Bro, you've been beating around the bush.
Them man accompanied me out there into the highways and byways, right? Because remember, I taught every Thursday, so they went out there to join me. But also every Saturday, they would also join London Forecast on Saturday in the bushes. But they would come out on a Thursday with me on the highways and byways, right? And but their hearts was never in it though. Caleb and Ahab, their hearts was never in it. Because I remember when we all stood before the Passover, we all stood before Elder Ramah. Elder Ramah was questioning all the brothers and GMS London forecasters. Do you really want to be out there in Brixton? Because remember, Ramah don't like Brixton. He doesn't like over here in the UK. Some of you brothers that you probably don't understand, you don't know. But like I said, I'm putting this video out into the cosmos. He was like, do you really want to be up there in Brixton? Because remember, he's got some beef up here in Brixton. He asked all the men and GMS on the forecast, do you really want to be in Brixton?
Yeah, because we've been to Brixton, man, and we dusted off our feet in Brixton. And there's a bunch of waste man that calling themselves Hebrew Israelites like you that's preached there already. Like, we don't, it's done. We've been there and done that. So in the spirit, Elder Ramar's like, yeah, man, like allow Brixton. But he just really wanted to teach in Brixton. That's what it is. You know what I mean? It ain't because Ramar's got beef in Brixton. What's this guy talking about?
And they all said no. So I was the last. I literally was the last in Great Millstone over here in the UK that stood for Frontline, that stood for the highways and byways. But when we stood before Ramah, I was kind of surprised. You know, Ahab and Caleb, they wanted the bushes. They didn't want to be out there in Brixton. So remember, our whole season, they were out there with me in Brixton. So now, why was you there and you didn't even want to be there with me? I was like, well, you know, it's all for the spirit. They didn't want to be there. And it had nothing to do with Brixton. Let me say that. It had nothing to do with Brixton. They just didn't want to be out there in the highways and byways. That's why if you look at all their videos, they're in all these secluded areas, bushes areas. It was never about Brixton. They just didn't want to be out there in the streets, period. None of them. No man in GMS over here in the UK wanted to be out there in the highways and byways. I was the lost.
I could tell you this. No man in GMS is fisting up brothers in the camp. That
it gives the Brixton scene, gives him an opportunity to be controversial. I remember one time, there's a few times, not a lot, but a few times when I wasn't working on that particular day, I'd go to Brixton or Clapham and check for him and the brothers. And I remember on one particular occasion, he had like a slavery sign, like Emmett Till kind of brutal image. Someone called the police and said, oh, you know, they find the image distressing. The police came to the camp and they were being amicable. They said, listen, do you take the sign down? He didn't want to take the sign down. And then the police was acting like, well, listen, if we don't take the sign down, we're going to have to start taking names, you know, kind of stuff. I just took the sign down. But the thing with Brixton is you talk loud. Like you said, it's the Harlem, you know, it's the UK version of the Harlem. You talk loud, you say a certain thing, you show an image that aggravates people. He likes that commotion kind of thing. That's all it was, Brixton.
He wants to be the main character, innit? He wants to play the prophet game. But he's going to get what he wants.
That's all it was.
The tradition, the ancient, I say that. But you know, the traditions from Elder Apostle Har, Elder Apostle Har himself, he said, you know, there should be great millstone counts in every corner. You should be raising uphill. I was the only one that upheld that tradition.
Yeah, but it was Apostle Tahar that told us. You see what I mean? What's that thing? You want it one way, but it's the other way.
Over here in the UK, While the rest of them, they're all in the bushes. That's why you see, even to this day, I'm in the streets and they're all in the bushes. So I was always different from them. I was always different from them. I was always by myself. So I separated from London forecasters. They taught in the bushes, I taught in the streets. Ahab, Caleb, they joined me. And then they became a point where the money came in, the £3,000. 3,000 grand, 3,000 grand, 3 grand, which is £3,000. A certain individual came in with 3 grand. I'm not going to put the details of that person, but the individual came down with 3 grand in cash money in the envelope, and in pen, it said Brixton Profit on that envelope. Brixton Profit. Who's the Brixton Profit? Me.
That's a lie, by the way.
Which
okay, not anybody else. Me.
Caleb disputes that because Caleb said it said to the Brixton Prophets with an S. Like, but he's trying to say it only said to the Brixton Prophet. But this woman that gave alms, she would regularly give. I think she gave alms like twice before, and it was for the whole camp. Right, but he's trying to spin it like she was only giving him money.
The woman's given us money. She's given and she's given us on 2 occasions. She gave us a set of like history books, and it's like encyclopedias and stuff like that before.
But this time he's trying to claim, oh, the money was only for him, £3,000.
Because he deserves it. Because he's on the streets.
Yeah, because he's frontline, bro. Ark. He a striker.
These men don't deserve it.
Striker. Power up. Yeah, go on.
Okay, I'm the Brixton Prophet. So this is a sister that's been following me from a long time. And
following him.
Wow.
And she came, and this is the time when we were teaching Clapham Junction. Clapham Junction. I shouldn't have said she. But this individual came down with an envelope with she don't know my name. My name is Dawada. This individual put Brixton Profit on it. So this is money, and this is why I'll go into the older Apostle Gabar. He did that sit down about me, right? He did sit down about me, how I laid hands on the man, the bishop shouldn't do this. Rest of that whole sit down, right? And in that video, he spoke about money. He actually spoke about money within that sit down that he did, and I found that to be so spiritual because I didn't agree with the sit down that he did because if he didn't even care about me laying hands on the man. He's just using that as leverage, right? Because he's got to back Manata Zakba about the whole reproof video that I did, right? But it was spiritual that he's brought up the money in that video, the sit down that he did. So that it was about money.
Guys,
laughing.
Talking about, man.
He's insane, bro. It's actually mad.
It was about money, right? And it was about money. Don't listen. They might do a response video to my team on the phone. All you want about it? Don't listen to their crap, man. They're lying. It was about money. It was about money. 3 grand cash money. Cha-ching, money, right? Because I was in the streets. They were in the bushes. Do you understand? And I said to myself, I can't
Sorry,
tell
Zakwan. That's such a dickhead. Sorry. That sister, when we were in the so-called bushes, she must be from South, and she located where we were on the previous occasion and gave us money. So he's saying that, oh, she gave me the money because I'm out there. Okay, the previous time she gave money, it was when we was in the bushes. So what are you talking about?
He's in the bushes, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he's a demon. And he just wanted, and he's about to say that he didn't tell no one that he got the money because he wanted to keep the money for himself. And I'm going to show you why he wanted to keep the money.
It was about money. 3 grand cash money. Cha-ching, money, right? Because I was in the streets. They were in the bushes. Do you understand?
So let me show you how the mind of a wicked man. See, you brought the scripture out earlier, right, Rakar?
Yeah.
The man will find an excuse.
Yeah.
This is what wicked people do. So he wasn't really working. He didn't have that much money, right? And the woman gave £3,000. Yeah, that's more than enough money. That's more than enough money that you could take what you need and other brothers can get what they need and put money in the treasury, send money to the elders. £3,000 is a lot. This man ain't got no family. He was good. What it is that he's trying to find a way to justify keeping the money for himself. So he's like, well, I'm the one that's out here on the streets and they're in the bushes, so I should keep all the money. That's just him trying to justify keeping the money. Because what he should have done was, when she gave the money, was speak straight away to Laban and discuss the money and what they're gonna do with it.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't want to do that, and then he ended up spending the money before he told anyone about the money. And he's gonna tell you he didn't want to tell nobody about the money because he was moving like Golem, how Golem was moving with the precious, my precious. That's how he was moving, and that's that filthy lucre.
And remember this as well. This man's supposed to be a leader in the camp, right?
Yeah,
you're meant to be looking after the flock, so you wouldn't keep something like that to yourself anyway. You check up to see if brothers needed anything.
And he initially didn't want to give even Caleb that was going out of him. He gave Caleb £100 out of the $3,000, and Caleb needed the money. This guy's a demon, and then that's how he ended up saying, "Oh well, I'll give you £1,000 when I get the money," because he spent it all, and we're gonna go into what he spent it on too. You're a demon.
And I said to myself, I can't tell everybody about the money, because when you tell men about money, it's gonna. I didn't. So I knew I couldn't. So I told Ahab.
See, he didn't even finish his statement. So he couldn't tell everybody about money. So he specifically told Ahab because he thought he could trust Ahab, like not to tell no one else. So I'll tell Ahab about the money because Ahab's not really going to question him. And then he had to tell Caleb because Caleb was there when he got the money.
And he knew, not to go into too much details, but he knew at the time Kalab was going through multiple situations. You know, some of which financially he needed the help, but he denied all of that, and that didn't come into his thinking pattern just to do what you're gonna say, you know,
to serve himself.
What he did.
Yeah, because he's a demon, and he ain't telling the full truth. You should have. Yeah, you had 2 hours. You should have told everyone what you did with the money. But let's keep it moving.
Ahab was like, well, that's what Ahab. Maybe Ahab was like, no, this is between you and Caleb. This is between you and Caleb, man.
Now, I ain't asked Ahab about that, but no, it's not between you and Caleb.
And I was like, straight away, he said, because remember, Ahab was always hooking me up with money. Because remember, I during that time.
He's throwing Ahab under the bus as well. What a beautiful brother. And he's trying to throw Ahab under the bus when you're meant to be a leader in the camp. So why are you even asking Ahab for? Why didn't he ask Laban? It's a demon, man.
During that time, to my brothers that know, you brothers that weren't there, you don't know. You're just here. It's all hearsay. Everything I'm saying is all hearsay to you. So like I said, I don't have another man to confirm anything that I'm saying. But Ahab was giving me, you know, a little something, you know, every week. Because remember, he's a genuine man. Throughout GMS in the UK, he's known for his sincerity. He is a known man.
Yeah, and you're throwing him under the bus.
And sincere. He's known for that. Right? And me and him were like this. He was my best man. That's why he came with.
But he's in the bushes, though.
He out there on Thursday. We were out there in the highways and byways. So anyway, let me get to the point. So now he would be the one giving me little things every week because I had at the time when I got the three bags, the 3K, I didn't have no income. I didn't have anything. So I told him, he said, this is between you and Caleb, and it was spiritual that he said that. I was going to tell him about the amount. He didn't know about the amount though. I told him that it was money. He knew about the money because he was there when the individual came down with the money and gave it to me in that white envelope. So I remember going to Caleb now. I spoke to Caleb. I said, listen, man, I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give you your cut in September. Remember, this is talking about, I got the individual.
I'll give you your cut, you know.
This guy think he is.
But he's giving him the cut in the future. So he's already spent the money.
Yeah.
So I spent all the money. Said, I'm going to give you your cut. But it's an IOU. This guy's crazy. And I think he said he only gave him £100.
Yeah, initially he only gave him £100. The 3K out of 3K, he only gave him £100.
That was his cut, right? All right, this guy a demon, man. Man, Caleb said it's 3.3%.
Yeah.
Came down with the money talking about what? July, like around July. Because I remember it was summertime, so it was like July, man. June, July. And I remember I told Caleb I'm gonna start my job in September. So I'm gonna give it back to you. I told him. I remember I'm over Caleb, right? I'm over Caleb. My position was over him. And he was good. He financially, he might have been struggling, but he was better off than me. So I told him, I'm gonna give.
What? He was good. Financially, he was struggling, but he was better than me. This guy's twisted, man. These guys twisted. So that's why you gave him £100 out of 3K. This guy's twisted.
Your part of the money at that time. He said, don't make a promise that you can't keep. That's what he said. Don't make a promise you can't keep, right? Don't make a promise you can't keep. So he's calling him a bluff, basically. He didn't think I was actually going to give him the money, right? So like I said, he came through. And this is the point now. Now check this now. This is the point where he's now talking about the Day of the Atonement.
All right, so let's get into where this money actually went. So I got the images here. This guy went and got himself. In fact, Caleb even brought it out in the council, and this is why he was so upset. Let me see if I can find a bit in the council where Caleb was.
But Dawada was struggling though, innit?
Yeah, he was struggling. Right, here we go. So this is one of the in the dossier that Caleb created against him. Item number 24. Hey, yo, Caleb, man, he's a legend, man. He's a legend. I ain't gonna lie. He's a legend. Listen, I ain't ever gonna do nothing around that, brother, man.
Caleb got the receipts, boy.
He came with the receipt, man, typed it out and everything. All right. Man said, okay, so he offered me £100, which equals 3.3% of donation total. It's like someone being given £30 and then turning around and giving a brother £1. Yeah, it is. I told Elder Dawada the percentage and asked him if he felt that I only give 3.3% effort at camp. Hey, yo, Caleb's a legend still. Or what? He was forced to admit that I contribute more than that, but I did not press the issue any further. His excuses for using the money were, I'm not good at maths and I'm not good at saving, and there was a surgery that I felt I needed. And this money came at the perfect time, so I just took the opportunity to do it. But it was always my intention to pay you back when I get my new job. So he spent the money, among other things, on surgery, right? Now, if you brothers from America, you got to understand here that in the UK, we have the NHS, the National Health Service. So if you're sick and you need surgery, right, you just go on the NHS and they'll book you in whenever the next available surgery is, and you don't pay nothing. Yeah? That's how it works in the UK. The only surgery that this dude could be getting that he's actually paying for is cosmetic, because the NHS don't cover cosmetic surgery, right? And that's exactly what this guy did. And Ahab caught him. I'm trying to find a bit where he says it, but I'll just show you the images. Hold on. Let's find the images. So what he actually did was he went and got a hair transplant. So you see here where he's got this hair missing at the back of his head. Yeah? He was he put the camera on and he was doing something and it caught the back of his head. You see it?
He sneezed.
Oh, he sneezed. It was a shot. Right? This is what happens after you've had a hair transplant. They take the hair from the back of your head and they put it at the front, because he had some kind of problem that mashed up his hairline at the front. So he spent the money to fix it. In fact, he was getting lineups before that, which was one of the things that Caleb was mentioning against him, that he was getting lineups because of his hairline. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Do you remember where it was in it?
No, I had it on my phone, you know. See if I can find
But this
it.
guy was doing bare things, man. Goodness gracious. Right. I suspected that he possibly spent the money on cosmic hair surgery. Where's this thing? I'm trying to find a bit where he spoke about the hairline thing. I can't even find it. But anyway, it's in there somewhere where he was getting lineups and the brother had to correct him on it. But the reason he was getting the lineup is because of his hairline was messed up because of some kind of disease he had or something. Do you know what the disease was, brother?
He mentioned briefly that he has what's the skin condition? Is it eczema? And where it was affecting his face, certain things he eats, it causes his skin to flare up. And
Yeah.
where his skin was flaring up, it affected the follicles.
And he
then-
lost the hair.
Yeah.
So that's why he got the surgery. Yeah, so he told me that he had spent the money on a surgery that, in his words, he said, I felt I needed. This is the big bad street prophet frontline. He spent the arms from that lady on a hair transplant. At this point, it's suspected that something dodgy had taken place, and the spirit reminded me of the situation where he said he lines up his hair, and I wondered if he'd used the money on reconstructive hair surgery, right? Which is exactly what he did. All right. So this dude, man, is a demon. He didn't mention all this in the video. Cha-ching. Yeah. So yeah, this is crazy, man.
camp area and that whole bit. And then he comes through on a Sunday now, he's saying, I don't want to teach with you anymore, right? Because he's in his feelings that I didn't give him his cut at the time that he wanted, the cut of the money, the time that he wanted.
That was part of it, the way you treated him, because the brother was struggling for money and he was helping you out. He was traveling to where you are because he was hella bummy because you didn't want to work for the white man and all this stuff. So he couldn't upload his own videos. So the brother was traveling from where he was in London to where you are to collect your videos to upload them for you. He was helping you out.
If I may add, Elder,
yeah,
it was the entire, I ain't gonna say the line, but it was the entire train line on a Sunday. The brother had to go back and forth just to give him an SD card.
Yeah, that's crazy. Doing all that traveling just to get an SD card to upload your videos. He was more than helping you out, and you only gave him £100 out of the 3,000, knowing that the brother was struggling financially and knowing, you know, the other personal issues that brother has. And you saw fit to use the money that you could have helped him with to get yourself a hair transplant, and you're out here trying to act like you care about that. Elder Manazar Bakbar, he don't care about the people. He couldn't be bothered, brother. You couldn't be bothered to give man that was in the camp with you money to help them buy food and pay their bills. You took that money and did a hair transplant, man. What is you talking about? That's why it matters. Dude's a demon, man. Dude's an absolute demon of the highest order, man. Oh, them man are in the bushes. So I should take the money so you could fix your hairpiece. Yo, this is crazy, man. You got anything else you want to say, Jeremiah, or put it on?
I mean, no, that's it on that point.
Right, saying you don't teach him, saying, oh, you might be good at teaching, but I'm more spiritual than you. Saying he's more spiritual than me. Other things, everything's rare. But when he said that I might be good at teaching, more spiritual than me.
Yeah, and he is. See, the thing is, this guy, he could speak at camp, but just because you can speak on camera and bring out this scripture and bring out that scripture, that don't make you right, and it don't make you spiritual. That don't make you right, and that it don't make you spiritual. Just because you could do the Hebrew NPC thing, right? Just because you could do the Hebrew non-playable character thing don't mean that you're a spiritual man. And it don't make you right either. As we're seeing. All right? And that's why Caleb had a problem. And then Caleb took him to council and brought out the dossier of all the bullshit that he's been doing, and that's what made him angry and deciding to fist a brother up.
That's when I knew within my mind that he's been comparing himself to me. Talking about the same man that's been teaching side by side. When you look through my videos,
it's always someone's comparing themselves to me. You know, everyone's trying to, you know, me. Everyone's, bro, this dude's a demon, man.
He's the goalpost.
You know, he's the great one that we're all trying to aspire to. You get me? Nah, bro. No one ain't even rate you like that, bro. You was always some weirdo. Do you know what I'm saying? This is the worst thing, man. Listen, I gotta stop being so nice, man. That's why we be vetting people now in Great Millstone, man. I'm fucking weirdos. If I think you're a weirdo, you ain't coming in the camp, man. That's how it's gonna be from now on, man. Because this is ridiculous, man.
It's all attention seeking. I remember one time we had one of the brothers was in hospital, and a few of us got together to go and visit him. And like, man, if I tell you the things he was wearing like the yardman string vest, combat trousers with Timberlands, and then like a mad duffel coat and a back. The brother in the hospital actually had to apologize to the nurses for his friend's dress code because everyone was looking at him like, what to you, brother? Like,
bro, I told you, he's a nut job. He's a weirdo, man. Strange individual, some strange fruit hanging from a tree. That's what he is.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get through this because
when I was in Great Millstone, the dude K that was standing next to me, he said he he was measuring himself up to me the whole time, saying I might be good at teaching, but he's more spiritual than me. He said it's outside Brixton Underground Station, right? I know. That's what I knew he that means the whole time he was standing next to me, he had competition with me. He had some type of envy. But anyway. So now,
what about you doing bullshit?
It's none of the bullshit he was doing, isn't it? It's nothing. None of the, like when he was secretly going and hanging around with other camps and nearly got the brother suspended with him, and then didn't apologize for that. And you know, it's none of the actual stuff that the brother said you did. It's just because he was envious. This guy's a demon, man.
I called up the barn. We had to make a council in Clissold Park. Clissold Park over here in the UK was in Finsbury Park. Do a whole thing right there. And I'm leading up to the point where I laid hands on him, right? Where I laid hands on him. I'm leading up to it. So, and I guess I do also want the men in GMS London forecasters to know the whole truth of what happened. Anyway, so
they were there.
We had a meeting, right, in Clissold Park, which is in Finsbury Park, over here in the UK, London. And that council was so satanic, man. Because remember, like I said, Caleb, he said he didn't believe I was going to give him his cut. He thought I took the money for myself. I didn't, man.
You did.
My whole intention was to give him his cut, which I did. Right?
No,
anyway,
if his intention was to give him the cut, right, then he would have given him the cut. You spent the money on a hair transplant. It's this dude, man. Like,
what say about deferring wages and stuff like that? You meant to pay a man, you know.
Yeah, like, bro, that's not how it works. If someone gave me money for the camp here, right, we're gonna discuss it there and then, and it's gonna be given to who it needs to be given to. It's not gonna be like, oh no, bro, I'm gonna give you some money in 6 months, bro. We could be in the kingdom in 6 months, blood. Like, what are we doing here? Bro, we need the money now.
Can I get a precept? Sure.
Yeah, go on.
It's from 1 John chapter 3 and verse 17. So, but whoso have this world's good and see if his brother have need and shall have his bowels of compassion from him, how dwelleth the love of God in him?
That's a cut.
I got a precept as well, if I can, Zakwan.
Con.
Yeah, based on what Caleb was saying, don't make promises you can't keep. Yeah, the word kind of took that as a disrespect, but that's the scriptures. This is Ecclesiastes 5:4. When thou vowest a vow unto the Most High, defer not to pay it, for he hath no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou hast vowed. Better is it that thou shouldest not vow than that shouldest vow and not pay. Suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin. Neither say before the angel that it was an error. Wherefore should the Most High be angry at thy voice?
Because he's saying this dude's obviously is a brokey, innit? It just is what it is, innit? Some brothers is broke, but He's next level broke because he don't want to work, or he'll pick and choose when he wants to work or all that. Whatever, that's his business. But he can't act like having £1,000 comes easy to him. Like, so to just, oh yeah, I'm gonna give you the £1,000. That's why Caleb was probably like, bro, don't say that, because I know it's not an easy thing for you to get £1,000 to give me.
Mm-hmm.
He's a bullshitter, man. Anyway, let's get through this, cause.
So he brought in the paperwork against me, you know, where we had a council, right? So it was me, Dawada, myself, Dawada, Caleb, Yeromyo, and LeBon, right? So we had a click up together in Crystal Park. Now
you say me, myself, Dawada.
Yeah.
But what the nah, man. What the hell? Who speaks like what? Me? It was me, myself, Dawada. This guy is insane, bro.
So Caleb brings all that paperwork, like Agent Smith, some Agent Smith type shit, man. Some Agent Smith type shit. And he brings out the paperwork. So he went to a computer. I'm just saying what happened. He went to a computer. For him to print, that means he went to Microsoft Excel. He typed up some stuff.
Okay.
And said Excel, you know. Wow. not even Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel.
Yeah, and he's just over talking. Like, get to the point. Obviously, we know he would have had to type it out. And I've got it. Like, I've already shown it. I've got everything that he writ, and it was all on point. It was good, because now we could have it to see for ourselves all the BS that he was doing. And don't make me have to upload it. I'll upload it all. You see, because all that the brother went on your channel, and he was only thing you were doing was watching videos on how to attract women. What was it? What was he watching?
How to attract women, and how to get over heartbreak and attract women.
Yeah, and then something else he was watching, like sport. I don't know, bro. He would. Bro, you a lame, man. How to attract women, bro? You lame. I'll give you the first tip. Don't be a weirdo.
For himself, one copy for LeBon. He brought it to the council meeting in Crystal Park. He gave the copy to LeBon. He had one copy for himself, and he read it all out. He read it all out, man. And he read out all the mistakes that I did, and little mistakes that I've done. Like
see, he read all the mistakes that I did, all the little mistakes. So to him, it's like, oh, okay, I was going off, but
well, to him, this is probably nitpicking.
Yeah,
you know,
this is a demon.
I don't know if I mentioned it in the whole sit down I did why I laid hands on a man over 2 years ago, right? I don't know if I mentioned some of the mistakes that he claimed that I made, right? So he brought out that whole, he was turning pages in that whole council, man. I was right there, so he's
that's how wicked you are, man. Yeah, listen, you know you're wicked, yeah, when a guy, yeah, can type up a document on the bullshit that you've been doing. Yeah, that's insane.
Exhaustive.
Exhaustive. The Zondervan's exhaustive dictionary on your wickedness. That's crazy.
All my secrets right in front of me. A man that I was hanging out with. You're talking
there
about
no secrets. He keeps saying secrets. There were no secrets, right? He keeps acting like man confided in this brother secrets. That's a lie. I've read the whole document and there weren't no secrets. So this whole idea, the only thing he gets up, the guy did mention his woman and his woman cheating on him. Like he saw his woman leaving to go see a next man. You know, dirty Dick Harry. His woman was leaving to go get her guts pushed in by a next man, and then he phoned her while he was at camp, and she couldn't say where she was. And then he all wanted to put her picture up on the camera at camp on the live stream, like. What are you doing, bro? That's your personal shit. That's got nothing to do with camp. You know? The guy. Oh my goodness, man.
Tuesday, I would, go around to his house and hang out with the guy, because remember he was teaching me with our Thursday, so naturally on a Tuesday we would hang out together. So about a friend of mine, someone that I thought was, like this, someone that I revealed intimate things about myself to, and he revealed it. We brought it all out. He read it all out, because remember
there was nothing intimate in that whole document. I've read the whole document. There was nothing intimate in there. It was all bullshit to do. It was all stuff to do with camp. What was in the document? It was nothing like no intimate or his mother or his brother or do you know what I'm saying? We've got I've got it here, but I ain't got time to sit there and read it all out for people, man. I've read it. It weren't no intimate things that's in there. Yeah? It ain't. I've got the whole document. So he's just a liar, man.
Up on the Microsoft Excel, the computer, and he read it all out.
It's the word, you idiot.
I remember it's about money because he didn't think that I was going to bring that money to him. Right? So he did, and that council was so satanic. That council was so satanic. Throughout the whole council, I didn't even say much because it was like I didn't know that was within him. That I don't know if you brothers have experienced something like that for yourself. That was traumatizing for me. That was traumatizing for me, man.
Yeah,
like,
I'm sure it would be if someone exposed all your bullshit that you've been doing, destroyed your ego. I bet it was traumatizing. He didn't expect that, did he?
The guy, because I'm thinking, right, he would stoop that low to have done that. Even LeBron, remember LeBron, he's got that secret competition with me, right? So
there we go.
Even he had to check him on that. He was like, no, you're not supposed to talk about another man's woman because he was talking about my woman in the council and everything. Even LeBron had to check him. Remember, LeBron, he's a two-faced, power-hungry dude, right? A dude that he needs that for it. But even LeBron, I understand him. I'm gonna talk about that a little bit more. You know that, and that's the part of the reason why I just let him have the camp. When he took the camp, I just let him have it because
I let him have it.
I've lived with him. I know.
I let him have
Why
it.
is he still? So he's meant to be dealing with why he punched, man, and he's still trying to go back onto LeBron. Guy's a demon, bro. Stay on topic, bro. Why did you end up punching this brother? Because he brought you to council and exposed all the bullshit you've been doing, and you got angry.
There's no one that knows LeBron more than me. I don't care what even London says.
I gotta skip this.
Let me repeat myself. He feels the war. He had to always nitpick at everything I did. That was done. I don't care what require come. GMS, a second in command of GMS Londonseer. I don't give a damn what he says. He don't know. He's been gaslit by the same men that he's defending. The same men that he's defending, he don't know the truth of it. He doesn't know. Like I said, in the kingdom, in the world to come, we're all gonna say we had demons on us. We're all gonna say that. We're all gonna
What?
But now you want me to acknowledge why I laid hands on him? Because remember, hear this now. Now, okay, he brought out talking about Caleb. He brought out all the information against me. He brought out all the information. That's why I said to myself, raw man. That mean he was taking notes, man. He was counting mistakes. He was the whole time he was standing next to him. He was counting mistakes. Like you talking about agents and your GM. Great most talking about agents and shit like that. There's the agent, man. You know what I'm saying? The agent, he was counting mistakes. And I was like, I thought he was my friend. You know what I mean? Like, I told him things about me that. Right now, I'm looking back and thinking, I shouldn't have told him that, man.
Right? No, the brother was protecting himself. That's what it was. The brother was protecting himself, man. Because he was about to get he was about to get on the verge of a previous suspension, and the brother was protecting himself because he was associated with you at your camp. That's all it was.
Yeah.
But as usual,
Caleb did nothing wrong. Caleb did nothing wrong, man.
And let's be honest,
legend in GMS London now.
And let's be honest, man. If you're around a dude, man, and all you see is he's doing madness all the damn time, you're gonna feel a way about it, innit, man? You're gonna feel like some kind of heat for knowing that he's doing it. You're not saying nothing.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And if I could just bring this out quickly from Leviticus 19, verse 17, it says, "Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart, right? Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him." So if anything, he was doing you a favor. You know, because it needed to be corrected, and he couldn't be the one to correct you because he's beneath you, like he said, right?
Yeah, they brought it to council. He did the right thing, you know. But man got angry.
What was he supposed to do?
Man turned into the Hulk.
He brought all the information. They said, "Oh, we're with Caleb. We're," and I was like looking at that. What you can see he's flattering LeBron, saying, that doesn't have the same history as you, LeBron. And then LeBron is all that nodding his head, and I'm just like, so that's flattery, you know. I'm looking at that. I'm just like, LeBron's kind of feeding himself, like, yeah. I was like, yeah, like you, LeBron. Looking at LeBron, LeBron is nodding his head, feeding himself. I was like, what the fuck? I'm standing there looking at the two of them.
I told my Caleb and LeBron, I'm like, what the fuck? And I was like, but anyway, that part got put to, but anyway, it got to the point where Caleb got brought up. I was put to the side. Caleb got brought up. They had, I don't know what was said between Romeo, James was the most high, LeBron, and Caleb. I don't know what was said. Because I was standing over there. But Caleb now got put to the side now. I don't know what he was told to move to go back to the camp. And I was brought up now. And then it got to a point in that whole council now where I asked LeBron, I said, listen, you see what's happening, man? Like, this dude Caleb, he feel like he can challenge me very, very. So I said to him, I said, listen, man, you need to share authority with me. You need to share authority with me. That's what I told LeBron. Because Romeo was right there. Right? Because it was him and LeBron that was judging the whole.
How is he going to share authority with you when the council is about you? Is this guy all right?
Yeah.
He's not all right in the head. He's missing something, man. He's got extra chromosome or something, man. He's either missing something or he's got too much of something.
Mm.
How can you the council be about you, and in the middle of the council you're telling man to share authority with you? I don't know what's going on, man.
Whole thing between me and Caleb.
Hey, man. Hey, everybody in London ain't like this, man. I gotta, I don't know where this guy. He must be from Newcastle or something. I don't know where he's from.
Right. So they're there. I said, you got to share authority with me. I said, let me take them. Let me take the men in GMS on the forecasters. Let me take them into the streets. And then let me take them to the streets. And then 1 week, and then you take them into the bushes another week. I said, let me make it even. And then LeBron. And when I said that, the moment I said that, LeBron immediately turned his back.
Yeah, because you're not even addressing what you just did. How can the brother bring all these things that you've done to council, and then in the middle of the council, you're like, oh, let me take some men to come teach with me? What's going on here? Jeremiah, is that what happened?
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, he was just saying, oh, you know what? I want to teach an elephant and castle. It changed from Brixton now. He goes, I want to teach an elephant and castle. So 1 week you're here, 1 week you're there. But he was missing the point that he didn't address any of the points that the brother Caleb had
just
brought
deflected
out.
the council.
He just deflected the whole council. The council finished. And then when LeBron and myself is talking to him, he's just like, oh, no, but we need to go elephant and castle. And then you go.
He's moving like Devin Haney against flipping Ramirez, blood. That's just running around the outside.
Yeah.
This is crazy, man.
You're getting everyone's upset, bro. Sure.
Yo, this is crazy. Anyway, and he don't even see how crazy he sounds. That's how you know he actually is insane.
Yeah, turn his back. Like, and then he looked at Romeo, making eye contact. Remember, I'm there, but he's making eye contact with Romeo. Then he said, well, I don't know what the brothers might think about that. Because remember, there was a situation where, remember, just like I said, all the men told Ramar that they did not want to be out there in Brixton. So he's basically capitalizing off of that. He sees that the men don't really want to be out there in the streets. They don't want to be out there in the highways about.
No. It wasn't no. Elder Levon didn't say. I don't know what the men will think about that. It wasn't up for debate or any sort of. You want to do this? No. We already said we ain't going down to no Brixton. We ain't doing no elephant and castle. So this whole thing about LeBron saying, I don't know what the brothers will think about that. That's a lie. It was already decided between us that we're not going down there. Simple as that.
You're acting like a cornered rat, man.
Yeah, right. Come on, man.
He had a mental break, man. Hey, you remember when Canelo cracked Billy Joe Saunders and he switched orthodox to southpaw and then back to he's all over the place, man. He didn't know what to do. That's it. He's all over the place, man.
I said, ask LeBron to share authority with me, which is right, because Elder Requircom said out his own mouth that me and him should be sharing authority. Because remember, you're talking about that was 3 years ago. At that time, 3 years ago now.
Yeah, I was wrong on that.
For 3 years straight, they've been moving around London and not telling me. So I said, you know what? Certain tests were run. I didn't know about these tests. I didn't authorize none of these tests. So now we're into support now, asking to share authority with me, and he turns his whole back to me and he looks at Romeo like, I don't know what the brothers might think about that. And he had that crooked smile in his face, making eye contact with Romeo, and Romeo was just looking at him like that. Because Romeo, GMS is all the most high. He knew what LeBron was all about, man. He knew that he was trying to make a grab for the camp. But you know what? When I saw that, because I'm there, seeing them make eye contact with one another, I didn't say anything, man. I just looked at them because I knew that would be his response. I talk about LeBron. I knew that when he was moving, I knew that's why he moved to the Vauxhall without me knowing, because I knew that he wanted it for himself, man. And that's how I was like, I knew it. I knew it. So I didn't say anything. The bond walked away and he said, next time when we move, I'll let you know. Which proves that he knew that he should have told me. Men moving around, should have told me 3 years ago. 3 years ago, he should have told me from back then when they moved to Vauxhall.
No. See, at that point, just to back up what you said earlier, Zakwan, LeBron is the type of man that wants to do his job properly, and he's got a good heart towards it. So when LeBron told him that, it wasn't because he wasn't previously privy to where we were. We had been telling the word, but LeBron was like, cool. If you feel like we're not telling you stuff, we'll make sure that extra sure that you know where the camp goes if we move. But he's trying to make it seem as if he wasn't in the know about nothing.
Yeah, but he already said that he didn't want to go where you man are.
Exactly.
So he's just anyway. He's not a good liar even. Like he's all a double-minded man. He's unstable.
Unstable.
Then I went to Yoram Yard. This is after the whole council in Crystal Park. I went to Yoram Yard. Me and him were talking. You can see how Caleb was malicious, and Yoram knew he was being malicious, but he was like, "Yeah, I'll have a word with him." And then Yoram was like, "I'll have a word. Next time you need to be around the men more. Maybe you need to be around the men more." Because
I didn't want to talk to you, bro. I'll be honest. I'll clarify that. I didn't want to talk to you because the council's done. We're all going back towards the camp now to close out and stuff. And you was just what you were saying to me on a one-to-one is, I want him suspended. I want him suspended. Who the fuck does he think he is? He can't talk to me. Like, it's all a power thing for him. So he was like, I want him suspended, talking about Caleb. But I didn't. The council was done. So at that point, why are you trying to talk to me about the matter?
So he wanted Caleb suspended for bringing out all the bullshit he's been doing in council.
Basically, yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, bro. It shouldn't be this complicated. I know this.
in the streets, teacher on a Thursday, they might teach on a Saturday. So Yoram is like, you should be around the men more. So that's why he took Caleb's side, because I'm not around the men. I'm not around. So that's why he took Caleb. Because Caleb is among them. He's in the bushes with them. So it makes sense why Yoram collaborated with LeBron to come against him.
That wasn't the reason we collaborated. All this collaboration talk. The reason the outcome of the council was how it was is because the brother brought out valid points. That's it. It's got nothing to do with any of the stuff he's talking about. All the points that Caleb brought out was on point. LeBron saw it. I saw it. Caleb just put it in a typed format. That's all it is. He had no leg to stand on. Because he was talking about his power and I'm in command and he shouldn't be able to talk to me like that. I said, listen, you're not. That's why I said to him, you're not around your men. We saw the word twice a year, the Day of Atonement and the Passover. Every other camp or gathering session in the year, we didn't see him. So he's running this. Oh, it's my camp. It's my. You weren't around your camp. The scripture says to know the state of thy flock. He couldn't tell you where brothers are spiritually or anything in their personal lives. He just wasn't about. And that's no exaggeration. It's a fact. We saw him twice a year. The Day of Atonement, when we would do Day of Atonement ending camp, and then break bread together afterwards, and the Passover. And the crazy thing about it is, on the last Day of Atonement, he was with us. We took it down because he was drinking water, and we clocked. Like, so many things this guy's absent-minded about because he's just in his world.
I hear that.
Should be, you're jealous of him, you want his position, you're comparing yourself. It's
the same bullshit, man. But it's all out in the open now, so we ain't really gonna go into this again. We just have to all this BS. It's just,
I was the last of Great Millstone that stood for the highways. Okay, to the point. So I circulated around. Right, because remember, the man went back to main camp. We just finished the council now. So they went back to main camp. I'm there circulating around. Ahab, I remember the beloved brother Ahab. He looked at me and he gave me that. Heads up. Because he's a beautiful man in the spirit. He is sincere.
Yeah, so bro was trying to give you some encouragement, like keep your head up, man, and you decided to go punch man up. Like, what's
crazy? It's crazy.
Right. So he gave me the heads up, you know, that looked like, because they're all in the camp. I'm on the sideline circulating around. So I'm thinking about what I'm going to do. Because remember, we just had that wicked ass council. LeBron just showed me what was truly within him from the get-go, that he never wanted to, he wanted to have me out so he could have it all for himself. So.
It's lucky, bro. You know what this is like? He was one put on council, like brought to council and all these things revealed, but it's like he's done a reversal of that. He's put man on council. Yeah. He's assessing everybody else, and everybody else is like, is going off.
It's crazy.
That nothing to do with him.
I'm going to give this dude 10 more minutes to get to the point, then I'm just ending it because this is crazy.
GMS, I was always by myself. I was always in the streets. Anybody that know, when I was in GMS, I was in the streets.
Oh,
man, you lie, man. You know, you lie. But even with Caleb, I'm going to go into it. You know, he lied about that. You know, he brought out certain things. My woman, you know, I'm trying to remember certain things. I can't remember everything.
I bet you can't.
Fuck it, man. I might as well just go out with my guns blazing. That's what I said to myself.
There we go.
So I'm circulating around what I'm gonna do. So I said to myself, I've always been by myself. So my mind frame is, fuck it, man. I might as well just go out with my guns blazing. That's what I said to myself. Because I can't go to Requirecom because Requirecom, he already told me that he doesn't want to hear about anything that I'm going on with.
No. I said that after he got kicked out. I said that after he punched, man. I said I don't want to hear nothing. So yeah, don't act like I put you in a position where you had to punch somebody up.
And then London forecasters, he doesn't want to hear it. He said it himself. Talking about Requirecom, the second in command of London Central. He said it himself that he didn't want to hear it. And which he admitted to in his recent video, his 12 minutes.
I admitted to after you punched man up, there was nothing, you know what I mean? Like, why is he trying to, nah, bro. No. This is on you.
About Londonseer ain't right. He said himself that it's true. That he said himself that he didn't want to hear it. And remember, he's a man over me. He's a man. So naturally you say, so why didn't you report the situation to him? He said he didn't want to hear it. So I knew I was literally by myself. Right? So I said to myself, you know what? Caleb, a friend of mine, I didn't mean him no evil. I started that council trying to square up to me, saying he's not afraid of me, like he want to fight me. The whole council trying to act like he's taller and bigger, like he knows more than me, like he wants to fight. So at the end, because I was circling, I was walking around, contemplating what I'm going to do the whole time. So naturally, when
the Bible says the minds of men is desperately wicked, man. So he's circling around, flipping, building up wrath.
But this is the thing, because what he should have been doing is meditating on what was said, right? Yeah. That's what he should have been thinking about. But no, he's thinking about what he's going to do next. Like, you should have been contemplating your rebuke, man.
Ended. I told Amma to move to the side, and I approached Caleb. And I told him directly to his face, it says, what did I say to him? I said, you are no friend to me. He said, why are you putting your fingers on my chest? And I put my fingers on his chest. And I pushed him upside his head. That's what I did. I pushed my head up on his head. I didn't actually punch him. But I did lay my hands on him. Basically, I laid my hands on him.
What the fuck?
And
yeah, so that's a lie because all the brothers see what happened. He punched. He's trying to make it look like he didn't punch the brother, but he did punch the brother. So he's straight up lying.
He fell back, but he had that crooked smile on his face, like his demons finally got onto me. So
it's like he sees everything warped,
you know. But now you want me to apologize? You're apologizing me coming to London forecasters and reaching the gap, everything like that. I've looked within myself.
Yeah, you're right on that, man. It was a bad time. Elder Ariella, he should have never. But it won't be happening like this again.
We're talking about 2 years ago. So ever since then, I've been looking within myself. Do I feel remorse? And I said to myself, hear this. I said to myself, you know what the scripture where it says, let me get this.
I don't think you ever answers the question, to be fair.
Let me get this piece up right now. This is in John. This is in John. It's a lot. I'm trying to get this.
Hey, Zaquan, if I may, to show you that this guy's he's further double-minded, yeah. On his video 2 years ago, why I hit a man, why I left GMS, yeah. Someone put on a comment board, good, he deserved it. And then the word responded, don't say that, the Most High might judge me. 2 years later, you see it?
Yeah, because he knows he did wrong. And he even gonna said that what did he say? I sabotage myself. He's a demon, man.
As you have measured out to another man, so shall it be measured unto you. That's an arm to lock him. You can't abuse an arm.
What?
Oh, that's the wrong one.
So that one scripture he's gonna bring out in this whole thing, and he's gonna completely butcher it. It's insane.
So look, there's a precept that says, "As you have measured out to another man, so as shall be measured unto you." Right. So I said to myself, if Caleb did to me what I did to him, right? If I measured what I measured out to him, if he measured it back onto me, if he laid hands on me for revealing his secrets, if he laid hands on me, if he punched me or pushed my head for revealing the secrets, knowing that I did give it, because I did give this money to him. If he knew, if I did that to him, right?
What a precept, man.
You know, I revealed the secrets and he went upside my head, I would feel like I deserved it.
Wow.
That's just me. That's when I was circling. That's what I was thinking. I feel like I would felt like I deserved it. Right? I wouldn't have taken offense. I would have said, he really did mean it, because he couldn't the money to go into, because eventually I did come through with that money. I came through.
Even if he thought that, even if he did think that too about himself, right? Does that make it right? Just because you would?
No, it doesn't. This guy's insane.
That's right.
I've got a few scriptures, man. Let me get a few scriptures here before we close out. This guy's insane. He's actually insane. Where was it? Where was I? There we go. Right. Even if he thought that brother was maliciously bringing him to the council, Scripture says this, Romans 12:19, dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath, for it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord. So if he was a spiritual man, he would have just let it go, and if he was justified, the Lord would have justified him. But he took it upon himself to basically punch the brother up because he was just angry and carnal. Which the brother actually, I'm make it clear, the brother never did nothing wrong to him. All right, I had another one here because it's that wrath, man. That's what he was filled with, the works of the flesh. Galatians 5:19. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanliness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, immolations, wrath, strife, seditions, and heresies. Right? Wrath is one of them things. And that's why there's a whole bunch of Jake that murder people all the time, because as soon as they feel some kind of way, right or wrong, they get angry, they just blah, and they want to, if he had a knife on him or a gun, he would have probably shot that brother and then said, oh, well, if it was me, I wouldn't complain if I was shot, if he did that to me.
But again, that's a mindset of the world.
Yes, and he would care if he got shot. If it was the other way around, he'd be fully like, no, I didn't do nothing wrong. He's a fucking demon, man. You're a demon, and you wouldn't have punched, bro. There's brothers in the GMS London camp. I know for a fact you wouldn't have punched, no matter how angry you got. Yeah, no matter. Listen, the anger meter could have just burst out the top. Yeah, you wouldn't have. I'll tell you this for free. If it was Elder Ramah, you wouldn't have punched him. I could put money on that. I could guarantee you, them demons that's in you would have said, "Nah, man,
allow it,
allow it." They want to survive. There weren't no pigs in the area for them to jump in. Yeah, so they were like, "Nah, man, let's chill." You only punched Caleb because you thought you could get away with it. You thought, oh yeah, he's weak, so I'm just gonna punch him. You wouldn't have punched Amawan or Paya Allah, them 6'2" Nigerians. You talking about, man? Right. Let's get this one. It says, we got to be different, man. This is Colossians 3:5. Mortify therefore your members which are upon earth: fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil, concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry, for which things' sake the wrath of God cometh on the children of disobedience, in the which ye also walked sometime when ye lived in them. But now ye also put off all these: anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, right, and filthy communication out of your mouth. right? It says anger and wrath and malice, and he's been showing malice by lying and trying to cast down other men's character to hide his misdeeds. The anger and the wrath, that's why he punched the brother up. He stood there pacing around, stomping around, and then eventually attacked the brother because he brought you to counsel and exposed your BS.
Like he said, Zaquan, he's a Israelite NPC. Yeah, that scripture that you just brought out spoke about the fornication. Bearing in mind, this is a man that disclosed to brothers he's got enemies in Brixton because they're fighting over gyal.
Boy,
people would actually come after him and try and fight him because who dealt with her and who's dealing with her and who wants her, this and that. So all that Israelite facade, the camera, front street, all that striker talk, it's all BS. It's all
I'm
BS.
not surprised, man. This dude's a fraud. You're a fraud, and that's the main thing. All that front line, I'm doing the scriptures thing. Where was all that? Where was it when it mattered? Where was all the scriptures when it mattered? It never turns up when it matters. In moments like that, when you got to hold your integrity, when you got to show some integrity, man, and some spiritual fortitude, it's never there. But when you want to act and put on this frontline Hebrew Israelite, make my body a living sacrifice, it's all there, right? But where was it when it mattered, man? About how you treat brothers, and that matters, man. How you treat brothers matters, man. How you carry yourself around brothers matters, man. In Great Millstone, the principles of Yahweh Shai is you love your brother as yourself, man. And this is why it mattered, because here it is, a beautiful elder like Elder Manata Zakbar. We can all see how genuine, sincere, and beautiful that brother is, the labor of love. I've never had the pleasure to meet him personally, but I can see, and I know that brothers will give nothing but all kind of accounts of that brother. And you try to basically like throw him under the bus when you didn't even understand the situation, but you're going around punching up brothers, throwing the elders throwing anyone under the bus to make an excuse for your own behavior, lacking all accountability. But you just want to save everyone. I'm just on the streets, and I want to bring in the mold. Bro, you fake, man. You fake. The stranger, you got to entertain the stranger. You talking about entertaining stranger, but the man that was out there that you said was your friend, look how you treated him. You got angry with him and tried to fist him up, but you talking about the stranger. It don't make no sense, man. And that's why you're not in. And once again, proof: 99% of these guys that get kicked out of Great Millstone ain't right. And I leave the 1% because, hey, the Lord could do what he do. But 99% of these guys that get kicked out of Great Millstone, they got kicked out of Great Millstone because they're not right. And it always shows itself, just like this guy's showing that he's not right. He's a reprobate in the spirit, man. An absolute reprobate of he's insane. He's probably growing an extra chromosome as we speak, man. Guy's out there. Anyway, let's give it another 5-10 minutes of this guy, and then
1,100, right? Over $8,000. And even how I got that money was spiritual, because I didn't even think I would get that money. Because remember at the time, I didn't have no income at the time. I was
I think there's a bit
anyway, talking about.
So hold on, right? So he promised Caleb this money, but he didn't even know he was gonna get this money. He didn't know how he was gonna get it.
Nah, nothing. Right? Yeah, he didn't know. And then when he tried to come and give the brothers money just to let you brothers know, and brothers didn't take the money from him. They didn't take the money. To hell with you and that money, man. You can keep that money and die with it. And I said it like that because you ain't right, man. There's no you. If you were gonna get right, you've had 2 years to get right. You ain't gonna get right, man. You just a demon, man. 100%. Right, and that's it. And if you see brothers in the streets, right, don't think you're gonna be able to pull that bull, which you wouldn't, because you're a coward talking all this frontline shit. I'll tell you to your face, you're a coward, man. You did what a coward would do. Because I know for a fact, certain brothers, you wouldn't have done that, bro. I'm telling you, you wouldn't have done that because you know Caleb is of that gentler, more, you know, man's, you know what I'm talking about, man. Certain brothers we ain't built like that for you to think that you could play them kind of games, man. Talking about how you gonna punch brother in the head. Disrespectful little prick. Anyway.
I wouldn't have taken offense. I would have said, he really did mean it because he came through with the money. Caleb, London forecasted, they don't know what happened, man. Even Raquacom, the second in command of GMS London Central, even he don't know. He's been gaslit by the very same men that he's defending. He doesn't even know that, man. He's been gaslit by he's been deceived by the very same men that he's defending.
Mm.
You don't know. And he's always been dismissive of me. I'm talking about Raquacom. A shit judge of character. A terrible judge of character. Raquacom.
Yeah, you're right, because I should have kicked you out, man. I should have kicked you out in that council when you was being stubborn. But you live and you learn. You know, me and the light-skinned elder, we should have kicked you out 100% that day. But I tried to make it work. That was my bad. I take accountability for that. You should have been kicked out, you stubborn little demon.
A terrible judge of character. Terrible, but he's also the spirit, obviously. But you know, the Lord, he wants things to happen. But ultimately, I walked out of Great Millstone. I sabotaged myself because I knew that at the end of the day, when I was in Great Millstone, I was always by myself. I was in the streets, the man were in the bushes. So I sabotaged myself by laying hands on him. I sabotaged myself.
So there you go. This is a man of the Lord. So in that moment, instead of saying, you know what, man, I'm just going to leave the camp and go do his thing, he chose to leave the camp by doing something that he knew he was going to get kicked out for. This is a man of the Lord. And then trying to say, well, I was going to walk out anyway. But this guy's a fucking demon, man. Oh, my goodness. I don't know, man. I don't know if we need to even show any more of this madness.
Deliberately.
He did it deliberately, so he's doubling down. He's doubling down. I did it deliberately. I sabotaged myself. I did something that I knew I was going to get kicked out for.
Right? So I left by Jack Jones. How many of you guys in GMS, you dick sucking, cock riding guys in Great Millstone? How many of you could walk out of Great Millstone on your Jack Jones, right, by yourself? Like I'm not trying to praise myself, man. But
that's bullshit. He goes out and teaches with. He goes out and teaches with them other guys. He's been teaching with them. That's why he got suspended. He ain't on his own. He got a whole bunch of little dons that he runs around with. All the other man that fell off and fell out. And you're calling them. So why is he trying to act like he's his soldier? Like he's him against the world? Get the hell out of here, man.
I'm thinking about guys that, you talking all this shit about me. Could you do that? Could you do that? Could you do that though? Could you walk out of Great Millstone on your Jack Jones and start up your own camp from scratch? No, you couldn't, because you put too much value on Great Millstone. You put way too much value on Great Millstone, man. Way too much value. You are cock-sucking niggas, man.
Hey, yo.
Dick riding, bending over the desk ass niggas.
That's crazy.
I have to put it like the DMX type shit. You're not rooted in the truth, rooted in Yahweh Shai. You're rooted in Great Millstone. There's a difference.
So Great Millstone don't have the truth no more, then, isn't it? We're not men of the Lord. No one in GMS is the truth and men of the Lord, isn't it?
Yeah, he hurt, man. He hurt, man. And it had to happen because maybe he was sliding under the radar. We weren't really, but now we've done this video, and I'm sure all these London cats are gonna watch it, right? And it's exposed. Look, ask him about the hair transplant. Ask him about the hair transplant, man. The demon.
Being rooted within Great Millstone and then being rooted within Yahweh Shai. There is a difference. And I guess I didn't lay too much value on pleasing men.
There we go.
Dick sucking and cock riding.
There we go.
So I walked out on my Jack Jones. I sabotaged myself. Because like, man, fuck it, I was by myself anyway.
Dudes that don't want to follow no governance and no order, they always run to the man pleasing thing, innit? Yeah, go on.
It's 1 John chapter 4, verse 20. It says, if a man say, I love God, because he's rooted in Yahweh Shai, right? And hate if his brother.
Yeah.
He punched up a brother that, he was in the truth with, right? He is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother whom he have seen, how can he love God whom he have not seen?
Mm.
And this is why all our acts, our display of love, it ripples through the brotherhood, man, because you can't do it to Yahweh Shai directly, so you do it through the brotherhood.
Exactly.
Exactly,
man.
I got a quick precept if I can, Zaquan.
Yeah, go on, man. Then we're gonna get out of here, man. We spent enough time on this demon.
Okay. 2 Peter 2:10. But chiefly them that walk after the flesh in the lust of uncleanness, and despise government. Presumptuous are they, self-willed. They are not afraid to speak evil of dignities.
Exactly, that's him. And that's why he disrespected Elder Manatas Akbar, disrespected Elder Gabar, he disrespected Apostle Tahar, he disrespected me, disrespecting everyone, man.
With the whole ministry.
The whole GMS, like, it's just this guy's
cocksuckers and dick riders and shit.
The elder said, why did he need to sabotage himself? He could have just walked. Yeah. But he couldn't just walk because he's a demon. He was angry. He was angry that the brother exposed him. Just like Cain, he was angry and he couldn't hold it because he's not a spiritual man, he's a carnal man. And he had to get his lick back. That's what it was, man. A man spent an hour 38 minutes just to explain that. Yeah, 6 years ago, bro, you were just angry because you got called out. Because you want to do what you want to do, and that's it. Well, do what you want to do. But your joyride's going to come to an end, man. Because ultimately, the Heavenly Father, man, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, is just going to kill you. There ain't nothing else to say about that, man. Because you ain't in Great Millstone anyway, man. All right? But yeah, man. Lord willing, brothers, is edifying, man. This is another example, man, of these demons, man. And now you know why the elders say what they say about scrutinizing brothers before. Because the way these guys came in was during a time when there wasn't that much scrutiny, and they didn't come up in our camp. They came up as a part of another camp, and they got brought in, and he came in with them. But in a way, there's a lot of good brothers now that came in that way, but there was a lot of guys that had also needed to be flushed out. Him, Ashan, Kanawa, there's a whole bunch of them that had to be flushed out to get to this point. But that's why the apostles and elders say what they say about vetting men before you bring them into the camp, because there's a lot of weirdos out there, a lot of strange demonic individuals that they shouldn't be around us, period. And he's one of them. All right, so good riddance, man. You brothers want to say anything before we close up?
No,
everything's been said ready for me.
That's it. Yeah.
All right, brother. Hey, Dawada brothers coming on, man. Dawada for all the elders in the Arkham that was putting the precepts on the comment board. Oh boy. Kal Halal Yahweh
Hashem Yahweh Shai
double honors to the apostles, the elders of Great Millstone, and honors to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways teaching this and the bushes teaching this word. Shalom to you brothers and sisters listening and learning, supporting the ministry. Shalom.
Shalom.
The bushes, man.